Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike, here to recap another long week of sports. We are here. We are in a holiday mood. Everybody's feeling good. We have a full house tonight. We are going to get right to it because there's a lot to cover. You know I cannot do this alone. I've got the mad producer, Podcast Poppy, in the building.
Kevin McAllister's mom's a bad mom, and the movie in Home Alone isn't a real movie.
Terrible. You're a terrible human being. We are bringing back. He said he would be back, so we do not have a new reset. The Anthony click. Anthony is back 2 weeks in a row.
No need for that no more. And Home Alone 2 is a better movie anyway. But yes, it's good to be back.
That.
It is a better movie. I will also agree with that. Home Alone 2, top 5 holiday movie ever. We have. It's not. Don't start. No, it is.
Are we gonna draft Christmas movies?
Gonna do a Christmas bracket with like 15 different versions of shit.
Just so I can promptly get Anthony's favorite Christmas movie out of their first round to fucking the animated Grinch from fucking 1974.
The facial expressions backstage, hilarious. Not a special guest because you can catch him every Sunday with Dylan when the Barretto Boys recap all Sunday night football games. My man, the Sand Viper Steven is in the building.
The Christmas bracket of Christmas movies, you have to put Die Hard and Lethal Weapon 1 in the bracket.
This man gets it. This man fucking gets it.
You're one of those people.
Die Hard.
You're one of those people, Steven.
One of those. You're one of those.
Lethal.
Yeah,
Die Hard
he's really one of those.
Christmas movie.
I watched Die Hard
for the first time.
Please introduce the next. Please introduce the next person.
We're not getting this show off the rails. Y'all are crazy.
Yes, please.
We're not going off the rails because y'all are crazy.
Please, no, hell no.
We are 2 minutes in and y'all are already with the nonsense. Nonsense.
Christmas movie.
It plays on Christmas.
It happened on Christmas.
It happened on Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
Lethal Weapon, Christmas, Die Hard, Christmas.
Does Home Alone take place on Christmas?
Yes.
So does Die Hard.
Yes. It's a theme.
He saves Christmas.
It's a theme throughout the movie. It is a theme.
There's not just not killing in Home Alone.
There's no theme of Christmas.
The theme for Die Hard is he saves Christmas.
Lethal Weapon 1. They stop the people from ruining Christmas.
also back from his sabbatical, Raj is back in the building.
Ho.
Raz's Die Hard, a Christmas movie.
Yes, in the words of Hans Gruber himself. Ho.
James, backstage, is Die Hard Christmas movie?
It sure the hell is.
Let's fucking go!
Sure the hell is.
Speak On It podcast officially says that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard is a Christmas
movie.
movie.
Get him off screen, man.
Hey, watch this. When Christmas Day comes and they're playing all their Christmas movies throughout the stations, you let me know if you see Die Hard because I guarantee
the answer is no. The answer is no.
You will.
No.
The only places that show it are people that are corrupted like you two.
Okay.
3, 4. But no.
4. It's
no.
4. We're corrupt. We're corrupted.
It's not a Christmas movie, man.
There's no holiday theme in that movie whatsoever.
It takes place on Christmas.
It
takes place at a Christmas party.
He's on doing a Christmas grip on the plane.
Yeah.
He saves Christmas.
We all could be opening our presents, and if people come in with guns and hold us up, we can't celebrate it, or we're gonna die.
Bruce Willis has a famous line from that movie. Yeah.
Mike, you will be converted.
Oh, wait, James. Oh, yes. What is it that you said again? Yippee-ki-yay?
Motherfucker.
You said
Anthony,
to me
we are
before.
we are just
Yippee-ki-yay.
You are
surrounded.
outnumbered.
This is so
Surrounded.
That's
disappointing.
my best Hans Gruber
This is
impersonation.
disrespectful to actual Christmas movie.
If you have a Christmas party we're having, oh, how you doing? Get some of the punch. Did you try the punch? Oh yeah. Everybody stick your hands up, okay? You can't celebrate no more.
Takes place at a Christmas party on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get more Christmas than that.
Yeah. Good day,
All right.
James. We will see you when we talk less. You know. We are here. We are going to get right into it. Get this out the way. There's been big news floating around this week, but Aaron Rodgers activated by the Jets. He will be on the 53-man roster. Will he play? I don't know. Probably not. But we have two Jet fans here, and just thoughts on not only Aaron Rodgers being activated, but I like to dig a little deeper. How do you guys feel about the Jets promptly releasing their fullback to make room for Aaron Rodgers, who will not play this year?
It's all part of his rehab. He's not playing. He's already said he's not playing.
Yeah, they already came out.
This movie isn't for rehab. I don't know. I feel like, you would normally have another young guy use that spot, evaluate them, but I guess the Jets are just like, it's not worth evaluating anyone else. Just keep Aaron Rodgers there, give him a lengthy rehab. I mean, what else could go wrong this year? Right? I don't know. Are you surprised that he's coming back and taking a roster spot and not playing? That's like a triple threat, right? Like there's no reason for them to activate him. There's no reason for him to take a roster spot. And I don't know. But it is what it is. 13 years of run. Yep, lucky number 13.
Well, it's not like Hackett was using the fullback anyway, so you might.
I mean,
he was on the field. What he was
he
doing?
scored a touchdown this year. The Jets haven't scored many, but he has one of them.
Listen,
I think he has more than one, actually.
I've been very not pro Rodgers for his entire career. I was very not pro Rodgers when it came to the Jets wanting him. I was very not pro Rodgers when the Jets got him. And here I am, week 16 of the NFL season, still mad at Aaron Rodgers because it's his fault. Coordinator's his fault. All these losers on the roster are his fault. And next year when he recruits AJ Dillon and we trade for the ghost of fucking David Bakhtiari, and I'll be screaming the same thing. And then when Jordy Nelson is a wide receiver coach and he pulls Bubba Franks out of the fucking grave to be a fucking position coach as well, I'll be sitting here just like, I fucking told you so.
Hey,
Soul for Aaron Jones,
right?
Aaron Rodgers. Huh?
MetLife is turf, right?
Yes, it's
does.
shitty turf.
He hates turf. He ain't gonna go there.
Listen, whatever Rodgers wants, Rodgers gets. And I said this was going to fucking happen the second we got him. And here we are. And he said, I'm very active with the recruiting. I'm going to be recruiting for New York. Great. I can't wait for all these losers from Green Bay to be Jets.
To be fair, to keep on the turf, I think the Jets have one of the worst fields in football, which is crazy.
And they just replaced the turf.
It's crazy. Like, what is the problem? What, they're afraid that everyone's going to want, like grass? Okay.
Just give them grass.
You're the NFL. You have billions of dollars. Just put grass in the field.
It amazes me
Fast
that the NFL
fast on fucking grass.
The NFL just is like anti-grass, and the few handful of teams that do have grass, the fields be garbage. Like they be terrible. And then you turn around and you look at these college schools that have grass, and it be immaculate. It just be perfection at its finest. And you telling me that these billion-dollar teams cannot move someone, hire a team to grow and keep grass? Like it's fascinating to me.
If it's going to be anything like Candlestick, I don't want the grass. I'll just deal with the turf on it. Candlestick looks like they were storing toxic waste underneath there. I don't know what was going on. It was terrible. So I mean, like if that's what I have in store, if we move the grass, sorry, we have to.
But the turf at MetLife has claimed Saquon and Aaron Rodgers, like,
and many others too. There's been others.
It's many others as well over the
But
last
I'm
2
saying,
years.
but the stars for the two home teams, that turf has claimed both of them, and the Jets and Giants still won't change it. They still, we're not doing it.
Well, they just changed the turf. So I don't know. Like I thought they think that it was like a good idea to do it. Now everybody hates it even more.
Hates it even more. And you're not going to change it again. I mean, they could.
They're not going to. You have to invest.
Them.
Will the NFL make them?
Probably.
The NFLPA isn't thinking about
the NFLPA hates it though.
Has that owns a place for freaking grass.
It's the maintenance of it, I guess, that nobody really wants to deal with. I'm just like, who fucking cares? You are a
pay someone.
The Jets are one of the 10 most valuable franchises in fucking football.
And you share stadium, so you only have to go half seas.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets, I think, are just waiting for their lease to be up in MetLife because they're trying to open up a fucking soccer stadium in the city before they fucking do anything.
So y'all are going to be the Chargers.
I mean, we're going to be in New York.
But you remember when the Chargers played in that that soccer stadium, and it was hilariously bad.
Oh yeah, because SoFi wasn't built.
It wasn't ready.
Yeah, it took like a few years for SoFi to get built.
I mean, if it's anything like it is overseas when they do those games, then it's gonna be fine.
I don't think they're building one of those stadiums in downtown.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like Tottenham, but the field itself. Because Tottenham's a fucking institution. That's different. Those teams over there are institutions for hundreds of years.
I don't think they're going to build Wembley Stadium on 49th Street.
No, but the fact that New York is trying to was like, okay, we'll build a team for a fucking soccer team, but the Jets and the Giants wanted to come back a few years ago, and they're like, no.
I mean, they fought it. They fought it tooth and nail not to have the Jets get that stadium. I remember that. Queens, yeah, the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets wanted to do that. Nope. Anthony, your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers?
Honestly, I think it makes sense, to be honest. If the Jets were still in playoff contention, I would have been pushing for Rodgers to come back, and I think Rodgers probably would have came back. I mean, it literally makes zero sense for him to come back at the end of the day. I mean, I do like the fact that they're at least, having him on the practice field so he can still warm up and whatnot. But yeah, this season's a wrap. I mean, one good thing I would say is Aaron Rodgers did come out recently talking about, he feels like he can play well into his 40s.
Which is nightmare fuel for Dylan.
I don't need 3 more years of that.
But Dylan, remember, this was a guy who literally was in a cabin not too long ago in darkness trying to decide what the hell he's going to do with his career. And that.
He's saying he was going to retire. So
yeah, exactly. And now he's saying hey, I want to play well into my 40s.
He's taking my franchise.
You could be looking at, again, Aaron Rodgers playing for the Jets for the next 3 to 4 years, as opposed to just a 1-year rental.
He might have a career-ending injury next year.
Well, I don't.
The problem is, Rodgers, even if we were in playoff contention, we shouldn't have played him anyway because I watched 3 offensive linemen on Sunday block each other instead of block the Dolphins. So, why? Why would we put him out there?
Can't resign Mekhi Becton.
You can't resign.
Can't
Laken Tomlinson is a fucking milk drunk child Mekhi Becton is a fucking fat piece of shit. Fucking Tippy's doing his thing, and he's just trying to live. Right guard is just whoever is off the street. Right? And this is what happens when you're running on 8th string people. And then the one starter or the 2 starters that we have are just dog shit. So it's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna
So
do?
you're saying even
Bradley Chubb, who is notorious for not getting sacks, getting paid a lot of money to not get sacks. He had a career day.
Running through y'all.
Like that's you can't let the guy who's him and Jadeveon Clowney are 2 guys who are famous for just not getting sacks. Those are 2 guys you cannot.
I don't know.
To be fair, he's had a pretty good year this year. He's had a pretty good year, Dylan.
Clowney this year.
Clowney's balling this year.
Ravens style is a lot of man blitzes, so he's getting a lot of pressure off the outside. So we have a whole career work of Clowney up until this point for be like, this is the year we're like, oh, look at Clowney, #1 overall pick. Woo-hoo-hoo. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go based on his career. He's a career guy who just doesn't get sacks.
But what about pressures?
Great. Pressures are great, but if you don't get sacks, like what are we doing? You have to get the sack. If you don't get the sack, somebody has to get the sack. The problem with Bradley Chubb was he would get pressures and then Von Miller would get the sacks. You take Von Miller out of Denver, Bradley Chubb's getting the pressures, nobody's getting the sacks.
Oh, but what about a homeboy on your team? I can't remember his name right now, but early in the year he was struggling. He wasn't getting sacks, but he was still getting a lot of pressures.
Quentin Williams?
He was getting Quentin Williams. He was getting double team. He was still making an impact on the field.
But he gets pressures, but we have like 4 guys on our team with 7+ sacks. Those are the numbers that really like are off, where it's like, okay, Quentin's not getting the sacks because everybody else is getting them because he's getting double team and triple team. Bradley Chubb, when he was by himself in Denver, got pressures, got no sacks, and the guys around him also didn't get sacks. This year, pressures, not a lot of sacks. Jalen Phillips was getting them. Jalen Phillips was having a fucking breakout year before he got hurt. And then Phillips goes down for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Chubb's still not really getting involved. Christian Wilkins is still trying to figure out how to get involved. They let both of those guys just feast while they're just playing. There's a turnstile to get on the fucking 4 train, and they're all just playing patty cake with each other, watching every quarterback get killed.
Becton's getting killed by Chubb and then laughing on the way to the locker room.
He can't come back. But he'll be back because Aaron Rodgers hugs him.
Can't resign Becton.
He'll be back.
Can't be.
He'll be back. Aaron Rodgers loves him. He'll be back.
Can't do it, man.
I'm telling you. He went on Pat McAfee talking about how he hugs Becton and hugged his mom.
All right.
He'll be back. Rodgers loves him.
He can't be back.
That team is ran by Rodgers, man.
I think depending on how the Jets fall, they'll end up drafting
nobody because they're trading it.
Either I think it's like Fashanu or they're gonna get all they come back. They're not trading the top 5 pick for Devontae.
If Rodgers wasn't on the team, I'd say we're taking quarterback. Rodgers is on the team. If you take a quarterback with that pick, he's going to throw a fucking fit.
I mean, we're taking either a left tackle or a quarterback. If we fall in the top 5, it's
going to be left tackle or wide receiver.
Yeah, I'll take a left tackle.
They're not taking a quarterback. I think it's going to be Green Bay all over again.
There's literally no one on the line. It's left tackle.
As bad as the quarterback play has been this year, if you want to make one claim in defense of the QB, is y'all O-line's been pretty bad this
year. The O-line is just dead.
Yeah, the only way I can see it.
It's been horrendous, and it's not Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback. Those are the 2 things.
Zach Wilson getting concussed, and then Simeon is a freaking scarecrow. He's just standing in the field.
He's a tank.
It's a dumpster.
I salute Trevor.
And Tim Boyle. Oh my God, Tim Boyle. Jesus.
Tim Boyle is the he's the single worst quarterback I've ever seen with my eyes. I said that to you when he went into that Buffalo game. I said it to you when he was about to start the next game. I said, I don't know what you guys know about Tim Boyle, but I'll tell you what I know. The single worst quarterback I've ever seen with my eyes.
The tank commander.
And he's a snake. And he's a snake. And he's now in Houston.
You believe the rumors? It's unfounded rumors.
I think that it was Zach saying something along the lines of like I'll play, but like I'm gonna get killed out there. And Boyle was like, okay, cool. And he said something to his agent, and then his agent spoke it out into existence because Tim Boyle was about to lose his job. So I didn't think it was intentional, because if any of us were on that team playing quarterback and they're asking us to play, it's like, whoo, I'm about to die. But like, okay. We all would say that.
Instead of just being benched.
Yeah, we all would say that in this situation.
But you guys do need to get at least a quality backup during this offseason. Try to get a quality backup.
Absolutely.
That's actually a top need.
That's got to be priority. You go and you throw all the money that you can at a decent backup within the range.
Maybe a Gardner Minshew.
And you go get Jacoby Brissett. Go get Jacoby Brissett to be your backup.
That's fine.
Who is he backing up right now?
Sam Howell. And he came into that game last week and was balling.
And Rivera's going to go with Howell again.
Yep.
Rivera's not going to last. He's going to be fired.
The clock's ticking on him. He's out of here.
Yeah, he's out.
If the Commanders lose to Trevor Siemian and New York Jets this week, he's out.
No, Rivera's out already.
He'll be fired. No, he'll be fired. No, he will get fired after the game.
I hope that he beats us, though.
The worst defense, the worst offense.
The implications.
I mean, at this point, what Ryan said is right. I mean, y'all should just be hoping y'all just lose the rest of
the draft implications. If we lose to Washington, is like almost guaranteed a top 5.
Where does the draft? What's the draft standing right now?
The Jets are number 6.
I'm convinced no matter what, Rodgers going to get his guy. The way this team is just bending the knee for him, he wants Devontae. They're going to get Devontae.
They're not going to trade a top 5 pick for Devontae.
The Bears have the first 2 picks.
If Devontae is going to be traded to the Jets, that pick is gone.
If you
not trading the top 5 pick,
if you don't give up that pick,
that just means you give up less later picks, and the Raiders get themselves a quarterback.
A future first-round pick, maybe, but you don't give up the top 5 pick.
You will.
You want to? Then you're not going to get Devontae.
So I'm fine with us not getting Devontae, right?
Me too.
It's just I know what's going to happen. We tried to get Devontae in the offseason. We tried to get Devontae before the trade deadline. After the trade deadline, everybody gets fired. They're like, oh, yeah, the Jets were calling, and they're going to keep calling. So that means to me, you're just going to go and just give up what you can to make Aaron Rodgers happy. Rodgers doesn't care about this draft pick.
My number 1 is to sign T. Higgins or try to trade for Mike Evans. And then
Mike Evans is a free agent. That's who we should go get.
That's who the Jets has to
That's who we should go get.
Yeah, because you get Mike Evans will be cheaper.
I think
Mike Evans will be cheaper to get.
Price wise, Mike Evans could be about as much as what Devontae is, especially because when you guys trade him, you guys pay most of that contract.
Yeah, my thing is
but
Mike Evans, as great as Mike Evans is, he's not Devontae. He'll be cheaper than Devontae.
And the reason why Rodgers wants Devontae is because he knows Devontae. He forced the ball to Devontae 1,000,000 times a year
and it worked.
And it worked.
But I don't know how having Devontae and
T. Higgins might be too expensive.
No, that'll be fine. I'm not worried about that.
They have Garrett Wilson.
They'll be fine.
But Garrett Wilson's a star, though. I don't really know what. You don't need a Devontae.
We haven't had.
Well, you need a number 2.
You just need a reliable. You just need a reliable number 2 because y'all number 2
Higgins is the perfect guy, but he's going to be expensive.
I mean,
he's going to be expensive for you.
I don't think Higgins is the perfect guy for the Jets, honestly.
No, it's Devontae or Mike Evans.
Those are the 2 perfect guys. I think it's Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans has the speed and the size.
He does. No, I agree with you. He's infinitely better Alan Lazard. Infinitely better Alan Lazard.
I mean, we're talking Brandon Marshall better than.
But T. Higgins has youth on his side, though. T. Higgins is still young.
Let you come on this show. Call Mike Evans an infinitely better Alan Lazard.
He's an infinitely better Alan Lazard.
He's nowhere near Alan Lazard.
That's why I said infinitely better than Alan Lazard.
I think he's talking about the fact that you guys used even that name in the description.
For me to say that Mike Evans and Alan Lazard are separated by infinity.
I think if you want to know in my mind what Mike Evans would be if the Jets signed.
But check out Randall Cobb, though, right?
Randall Cobb can suck my dick.
Stop. Mike Evans to me reminds me of what Brandon Marshall was with Eric Decker, but he might actually be better than that because he's faster.
He is because he's still in his prime. We got the last good year of Brandon Marshall.
So I think one
person
got to do it.
career with more 1,000-yard seasons than Mike Evans.
Jerry Rice.
Yep. And you know what's crazy? When the deadline came, we didn't just ask for Devontae. We also
asked for Mike Evans too.
So I think you don't sleep on this. Is what I'm trying to tell you, Dylan. I think it's going to be Mike Evans. Mike Evans doesn't fall through. I think the first three calls.
I'd rather that because the Bucs wouldn't be able to get that pick out of us.
It's best tackle, Mike Evans, and then T. Higgins. And then if all those fail, then you start talking about trading for Devontae Adams. And you take the best tackle on the board if you get any of those people or two of them. And then I think we're running.
Then pray that Rodgers doesn't get injured.
We're making some. That's a good looking team, man. I think that's a good looking team if you get two out of those three with Aaron Rodgers coming back. I think that's some.
Fix the line, get Evans. Pray Rodgers stays healthy, and honestly, the Jets are.
You can't even. The thing is, like the praying for the health thing. It's so ridiculous because it's like you can't predict that's gonna fucking happen.
He got injured 5 minutes into the season.
You can't
better
predict
start praying.
Plays that he tears his Achilles. Like when does that? Like that just happens? That just happens.
It's crazy. Like I was getting food, and I was just I did like the Jets game was on. I was like, okay, let me go grab some food real quick. I'm watching the Jets game. Like literally the minute I come back into the room, the dude's on the floor. I was like, are you kidding me? Like
I was sick. I was talking to Steven right before that game. I was sick.
That had to be so
I told Steven before I said I am fully not prepared for Aaron Rodgers to go out there and just fucking suck. Yeah. And then we hung up, we stopped talking, and then the sniper took him out from the top of MetLife.
Like 5-10 minutes later, I text, this only happens to the Jets.
Yep.
It's one of the thing of all time.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because I didn't see the start of the game. I couldn't believe it.
I'm getting mad thinking about it all over again.
But you know what?
No, but that really does suck.
That wasn't the most devastating Achilles injury in a vacuum. I don't think that was the most devastating.
No, because we also have fucking Vinny.
No, I'm not talking about Jets. I'm talking about
for this year. Tucker.
Well, I think the worst one was actually J.K. Dobbins because this was his.
I thought you were talking about for Jets.
Yeah, I'm saying this in general. So I mean, like the Achilles stuff happens. Unfortunately,
J.K. Dobbins' job is gone. He's not a Raven anymore.
The thing is, like, it's not even that. I think it was his year to cash in. He's done. Like as far as like, he will never be able to have this earning potential, barring something.
Never again, and his time on the Ravens is going to be short because they replaced him.
Yeah, he's
with a stable of backs.
He's not anymore.
He's the stable of backs works when you have the line of the scheme.
That kid tore his ACL though,
and they're still fine. That's the crazy part. They're still going to be fine.
It's tough, but
I know.
Yeah, AVT.
Didn't Trayvon get his money before he tore his ACL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He signed in off season. Absolutely.
Okay, at least he got
the AVT
paid.
injury sucks because
Anthony.
The Jets were averaging like 4 yards more a play with him out there on like passing or some shit like that, or yards per like something crazy where it's like when Vera Tucker's on the game, add like 2 more yards.
He can't play tackle anymore. It keeps happening when we keep having to lose spaces and move.
When we keep having going from left guard to right tackle to left tackle. Yeah, I know.
I get he's versatile. I love it in the pinch, but that's enough is enough. And
you also can't predict that because he played a snap on a torn Achilles.
Yeah, he can't. He can't.
And he was like, "Wait, something's not right."
Yeah, he can't keep doing this, man.
As great as he is, that shit's crazy.
As great as he is, though,
he can never play in Denver.
He's also kind of giving me he's an egg back there vibes. He's been injured, and if we keep it 100, if we treat him like we treat everybody else, he's injury prone. I was very fair with Becton, where it's like when Becton was playing, he was fine. It's just he's just a dead guy. He just doesn't play. The difference between him and Becton is he's fucking unbelievable. Vera Tucker is fucking unbelievable. It's just torn tricep. Well, fuck. Like, what are you supposed to do about that? And then torn Achilles. Fuck. What are you supposed to do about that? Like, you can't prevent that from happening.
Hold that thought. We are going to be strict tonight with the clock and move on.
Okay. Thank you.
Cowboys, Eagles. We thought this was a 3-team race in the NFC. Boy, did the AFC East the Dolphins are next, but the Bills just took them out. And as you see, the Seahawks on Monday Night Football in a game they had to win, won with Drew Lock throwing a dime to
Drew
win
Lock.
the game.
Fun
And
fact
Jalen
about
Hurts
this
not
last
throwing a
drive:
dime.
every player that caught a ball on this drive, which was just DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigma, the corner on them all was James Bradbury.
All the 92 yards was on James Bradbury.
Every single play was James Bradbury. They just picked on James Bradbury. DK Metcalf made 2 fantastic catches on this drive.
He did. That's what I was about to say. They were picking on him, but that DK Metcalf, if I'm Bradbury, I'm in film session going, I don't know what else you want me to do. There's nothing else I can do. That ball was perfectly thrown. DK made a hell of a catch.
First
I don't
of
know
all,
what else he can do on that play.
First of all, he should have never
Look
let
at
him run by.
Yeah, he let DK just go.
Let him run by him.
I mean,
That's
He
that's
gave
in the
up
bucket.
contain.
That's
He
like
gave
practice.
up
Right in the
contain.
bucket.
You can't give
Right
up
in the
contain on
bucket.
that. You can't let them go
That's
outside.
I mean,
And that's a bad play by the safety. That's a terrible play by the safety.
that
Well,
might be what happened. He might have thought he had help over the top.
The safety went for
Which
the
he should
interception
be.
and not the fucking PBU. If he went and goes for the breakup, that's not a catch.
That's not a catch.
the
Nope.
minute Philly said Matt Patricia is the defensive play caller.
You got picked
Yeah, if
apart.
he tries to break that up, I don't
But-
think he catches that.
I don't know if we could say that though, Steven, because they scored 20 points. It's not like they scored 80 points. And if that last second touchdown doesn't happen, they scored 13. So it's not like they was running up and down the field.
Yeah, but they were running the ball really well on the number 1 ranked run defense in football.
Drive Matt Patricia play call and gave up. Put Bradbury in those situations.
It looks bad on the final drive, but 13 points will beat damn near any team in the league.
The problem here is we're facing adversity in Philadelphia for the first time in a while, and this team don't know.
If you
This
keep
front runners,
push, you can't do shit.
They're gonna be fine. And they're gonna be fine. They have the Giants.
they
coming up
really
next.
have to worry about the Niners and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
they have
That's
the
what they're worried
Cardinals. Oh wait, no, they're the Giants at
about. They have
home.
the Giants. They're gonna dismantle the Giants.
And then they have the Cardinals after, and then the Giants again. Yes, I think they'll be fine.
They'll be
they're gonna
fine. It's just they can't afford to
There's
play
a
like
reason.
this against those 2 other teams.
There's a reason before training camp they were trying to trade Bradbury and Slay.
That's true.
Bradbury is,
And
it is
nobody
what it is.
took the calls, so they were stuck with him.
But if they run the table and win these last 3, do they have a
They're-
chance to get the bye?
Yes,
They have a
do.
chance.
Yeah,
but
this
The Niners have to lose.
The San
Yeah,
Fran would have
Eagles-
to lose.
the Eagles cannot be a wild.
Yeah.
They can't
San
be a
Fran
wild
would
card
have to
team.
lose twice. If San Fran loses twice, then Philly's in.
Yeah, San Fran holds the
If the-
tiebreaker. If they beat everybody head to head, they have to lose twice.
Yeah.
Hurting
If the Eagles are a wild card team, they're a first round exit for me. I
No,
don't
they're
trust
not.
them at Tampa Bay. No, at Tampa Bay, the way the Buccaneers have been playing, if the Buccaneers win the South, I don't trust them in Tampa Bay.
I would
I
trust
mean,
them.
the Lions can easily lose their last 2 games.
The Lions can lose every game going forward.
Easily.
That Lions defense is just bad.
Easily. They have the Cowboys and they have the Broncos, who decide to play good whenever they want to.
Is the Cowboys game on the road or at home?
at home. It's a home Cowboys game.
They can lose.
Oh, so yeah,
They can lose to the
they
Cowboys.
already busted the Broncos.
It's the same type of freaking field.
100%. They can lose to the Broncos. And they
Wait,
can,
who?
and they can lose to the Cowboys.
The
Now,
Lions.
No, the Lions already
Niners-
destroyed the Broncos.
the Niners, this Christmas game is everything for the Niners.
This
It's
is a
everything for the
potential
Ravens,
Super
too.
Bowl preview. This is a potential Super Bowl
Yeah.
preview. This game can determine home field advantage
They have
because
to.
if Baltimore beats San Fran, they have
You
to
ain't-
beat Miami.
If the Ravens beat San Francisco, you ain't gonna be able to tell me shit.
Me
I'm
either.
just letting
Me
y'all,
either.
y'all know you ain't gonna be able to tell me shit because I've been saying the Ravens have been the best team in football since Halloween.
I don't know about
And-
football, but I said they've definitely been the best team in the AFC.
That's easy.
I have been
Yeah, I
saying
know.
they've been
I
the best
don't know
team
how-
in football since
Yeah.
Halloween, and no one wants to listen. If they go beat San Francisco in San Francisco, you ain't gonna
No,
be able
I'll
to
be
tell
right
me
there with
shit.
you. I'll be right
You
there with
ain't
you.
gonna be able
Hey,
to tell me shit.
I don't think they do though.
I
think
It's gonna be hard to
I
slow
don't
that
know.
offense
Fight.
down.
Baltimore will try to punch you in the face, and if you could fight back with San Fran, then it's like okay.
Baltimore jumps up. San Francisco loses. Every time they're down 2 scores, they lose. That offense is not built to come from behind.
Yeah,
That's because their quarterback can't do it.
but Chase Young, and Bosa kind of they're hitting
Dogs.
they're nasty right now. They're
Chase
filthy.
Young is doing that thing where he's gonna whatever team he plays for next year is gonna give him a lot of money.
They're filthy right now.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you have on that line. Trying to chase down Lamar Jackson's a whole different beast.
That's the thing. That's the thing because I watched Lamar on Sunday do things.
And it's not even fair.
They got the linebackers. I don't know any of the linebackers are more equipped.
Did this thing on Sunday where he broke off a sack,
Cisco's weakness is
looked down the field, went forward, passed it, looked around again, ran backwards again, looked back, a run. You couldn't get him down. That is the most dangerous thing about Lamar Jackson. He's like, I've evolved as a pocket passer. I'm still the best athlete to ever play this position. So I will fuck you up over here. Look to throw. Nothing's there. I'm going to go over here. And okay, no one's there. Now I'm going to go. Good luck tackling me.
The Ravens linebackers take away the middle of the field. Same way you do with Miami. It's the same offense. Take away the middle of the field, take away their anticipation.
They got the linebackers. They got the linebackers to spy him. If the linebackers are going to do it, you stick Fred Warner on that man.
You can have the linebackers spy them. Lamar Jackson.
They can spy all they want. I ain't going to do this.
But here's the thing.
We've watched Lamar do this.
The Niners.
That's why this is great. This is a great matchup.
They have dismantled every single major team that's come into their. That
is also very true. That is also very true.
They embarrassed the Cowboys.
The
Eagles. They embarrassed the Eagles. Like this is just the last one on the list. This is just the last man.
They embarrassed another team too.
The only thing is that this is the most electric football player I've ever seen. This is that like Lamar plays quarterback much differently than these guys do.
The Bengals beat the shit out of them.
If the 49ers destroy them, like by at least 2 touchdowns, who beats the 49ers?
The 49ers beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
And they got to see, here's the thing. They're a very injury-prone team. It hasn't happened yet.
I make the argument if Purdy now, what we know, if Purdy doesn't get injured, I think the Niners actually go to the Super Bowl.
I was saying that all last year. I said if Josh Johnson didn't get injured, they would have won.
Because Philly's crazy part. Playing good.
And if he stays healthy,
I will tell you this. You can put me down for the speaky now. If the Niners have to play the Rams, they're gonna lose. I'm telling you right now.
They got to play the Rams in a couple weeks, and they're on fire.
I'm saying in the playoffs. If they have to play the Rams in the playoffs, they're gonna lose.
The Rams are streaking something fierce.
They're streaky. It's McVay versus McDaniels, man. Or not McDaniels, Shanahan. McVay versus Shanahan. McVay just goes out there and schemes them perfectly.
You mean this Rams team that was getting bullied by San Fran for how long now?
This Rams team.
What do you mean bullied? Do you watch those games, Anthony? Those games are always like this.
The Rams.
There's no room for error.
How many of those games went in the Rams' favor?
I think the last time they were on Monday Night Football went in the Rams' favor. It was one of the Manning Cast games.
Absolutely not.
Yes. Like they always play. There's a razor sharp margin for error because McVay schemes those games perfectly.
I don't remember those games being that close, dude.
I got it right here.
Please, refresh my memory.
They played the Rams in week 2. They won 30-23. And they have not played. They played the last game of the season. So they won by a touchdown.
They always played razor sharp things. Sean McVay has
Cooper Cup.
And that was without Cooper Cup.
That was Puka Nacua dotting them up.
I'm just telling you.
It's little brother syndrome. Sean McVay feels some type of way with Shanahan, and he's just like, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass.
But
The
even
Rams
then,
are
even
not
when you,
afraid of them.
the problem is, even when you look, forget about this season for a second. Yes, I understand the Rams beat the Niners to advance to the Super Bowl, but before that, the Niners beat the Rams how many times in a row? Like,
And
come
then
on now, what are we doing here?
What happened when it counted?
Oh no, don't do that. No, don't do that.
The
Don't do
Rams
that.
just-
How
You
many
just
times
said
in a row did the Rams get smacked by the 49ers? How many times in a row? It was like 6 or 7 or 8, anywhere from like 6 to 8. And then this season they lost again. So am I supposed to believe that the Rams are going to go into the Niners home field and beat them? Hell no. I'll put
Rams are
I'll put 2 Will
7-7.
spins on that shit.
The
Fuck
Rams,
that.
I'll let you know right now. If they play in the
Nobody wants
playoffs, the Rams are going to beat them because the Rams are not afraid of them. The Rams have the quarterback to beat them, and the Rams have the defensive player to beat them that can wreck that
Cowboys
game.
weren't afraid of the Niners either. Or
The
the
49ers
Eagles.
is their secondary, and they have 2 wide receivers that will fuck them up.
The Cowboys just can't beat the Niners. That's until proven otherwise. The Cowboys just can't beat them.
Proven otherwise, they can't do it.
That's the Cowboys. The Cowboys can beat anybody else in the playoffs, not them. The Cowboys could be 30-point favorites. I would bet against them. I would not touch the Cowboys in any San Francisco 49er game. The Eagles, I would take the Cowboys versus the Eagles. I would do that. I'm not taking them against the Niners.
I think if the Niners beat if they go out there and beat the Ravens, like I think they're going to beat the Ravens, which I think is going to be by 2 touchdowns.
Remember,
I think the Niners just
Lamar's record against the NFC, he's like 19-1.
Yeah, Lamar's got a killer
gonna be a
NFC
great game.
record.
It's going to be a great game.
I think his one loss was the Giants. Actually.
Yeah.
All right, so the Niners are 9-1 against the Rams since 2018. Every game outside of the 2 games Matt Stafford didn't play have been 6-point games.
Incorrect.
I'm telling you, Anthony.
They don't dog walk them
boys.
at all.
They're not afraid of them boys. I'm telling you, they're going to be like, we can beat these dudes. We know we can beat these dudes.
Remember, they're on the same coaching staff under Mike Shanahan. They always got something to prove when they play against each other.
Still a bold claim, though.
All those no. Anybody who knows anything about this Rams team says this. It's how they coach, man. They get up for that game. They've
gotten up for the game in the past 10 times and they've only won once.
Do this. All the Shanahan offense guys do this. They want to do their best game.
I understand the scores have been close, but you still got beat 9 times in the past 10 visits, past 10 meetings. I mean,
but they fight. So if you're losing by 1 score almost every time, there's no reason for me to believe that you can't win. You're right there.
Like I flip a coin 10 times, it's tails 9 times.
Like it's going to flip in the other direction sooner or later. I don't think they're going to lose, but I expect a fight. If you're in a fight, then it's like then anybody has a chance. You got a puncher's chance.
Games are totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the likely number 2 seed in the NFC right now?
Philly.
Philly.
No, it's Dallas. It's Dallas right now.
It's Dallas right now.
It's Dallas because Philly hasn't finished the rest of their the division games.
Yeah.
I think Philly runs the table.
Philly would be the number 2 seed by the end of the season because they still have to play the Giants twice.
Well, there's some 6th tiebreaker thing. They'd have to go to like the 6th tiebreaker to figure it out. I don't know how that happens.
No, Philly controls their destiny.
Yeah, I don't see Philly losing to the Giants twice.
Both teams went out. There's like a tiebreaker situation they have to go through. It's like the 6th tiebreaker to figure out the winner.
I still think the Giants are going to get one in MetLife, but that's just...
It's possible.
I don't think so.
If
DeVito's not that good.
The Giants, then the Eagles got problems.
DeVito, somebody that knows how to call defense. He
plays like shit. Every team he's played, like he's played okay, but he's played bad defenses. He played the Saints against Dennis Allen, who knows how to fucking call a defense. Was just like, okay, Italian boy, try to fucking do something. So now you got to go play against this Eagles defense that is good. Good luck. Good luck, DeVito. Good fucking luck.
That defense hasn't looked good in a while, man.
It's just Philly needs to get out of this rut. Philly needs to get out of this rut right now because you
Let's not cry after a regular season loss.
Yeah, that was crazy. Jalen Hurts
Why is Jalen Hurts crying?
he went off the sidelines after that game just crying. I was like, what?
Crying. I'm like, why do they cry when they lose?
Because he's passionate, man.
No, it's because they're a front runner and they don't know how to handle losing.
That's a good problem to have.
Oh,
That's
no.
what-
You
It's
don't
not a good problem to have. If you're crying after a loss after you were just in the Super Bowl and like, we're the fucking Eagles, everybody hates us, we're the bad guys, that you lose and you're crying, you can't do that. You can't do that.
He must have thought they really had that game, man. Heartbreak.
They
All I'm
don't run-
saying
they
is-
don't- Philly doesn't run the football enough. Why do they not run the football more? Like, Jalen Hurts has 13 attempts. Like, 5 of them are all QB sneaks.
Because they have the complex offense. There it is. We spread them out. QB draw.
They also don't run under the center.
50 wide receiver screens, 50 screens. You take that away from them. Then once they hit the 40s, they're going to take a deep shot. Take that away. You just got to keep them from doing the tush push. If they can't get you keep them from 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Always, when they play, have a ticker on how many tush pushes they do.
Less than 4, then they're going to lose.
They had 1 against Dallas. They got their ass whooped. They had like 2 against San Francisco. They got their ass whooped.
They had 1 again. No, they didn't have any against us, and they lost. They need to run the football. They need to run the football. They only run out of shotgun. They don't run from under center. It's insanity.
Jalen Hurts has reverted back to what he was 2 years ago.
Because he's not been good at all, Michael. But don't worry, I just don't like black quarterbacks when I say I don't like Jalen Hurts.
You don't.
Meanwhile, I've just been pushing along this Lamar Jackson thing for fucking 2 years. I was like, Lamar Jackson's my guy. You're like, you hate black quarterbacks. Because I don't like Jalen Hurts.
It's just a coincidence.
Oh,
It's all a front. You hate Jalen Hurts and hate Brock Purdy. I know it's a front. You secretly love Brock Purdy. I know.
I can't stand Brock Purdy.
I know it. You love him.
I can't stand Brock Purdy. I like Cam Newton a lot. Cam Newton's my guy. That's why I don't take any Anthony's Cam Newton slander.
Scam Newton.
Roz will always call him that because Cam hurt his heart at Auburn when he tore Florida State apart. Roz has never forgiven Cam for that.
They had the nerve to put a Scam Newton jersey on Bear Bryant's tomb.
Well, one thing that Cam has is an MVP trophy. So you got 3 weeks to go. Who do you guys think is leading the race, and who do you think could win or will win? I'll let Roz go first. Go ahead, Roz. Kick us off.
For what? We just want MVP?
Yeah.
Yes, NFL MVP.
I think it's CMC, man.
You think he's going to win it, or you think he's?
I think Chris McCaffrey is actually going to win the MVP. I mean, the guy has he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. You know, I think Lamar's a close second if they end up winning at the end of the year. But I think right now, I think it's CMC. That's how I feel.
So, Roz, let me let you in on something. Last week, Anthony bet a wheel spin that Brock Purdy was going to win MVP.
Yep. Yep.
He said to me, no, this isn't even me, because you know how I try to bait Anthony into doing things. Anthony looked me in the camera and said, put your money where your mouth is. Brock Purdy's going to win MVP. I'll put a wheel spin on it. And I never put my hand out for a handshake faster.
But he's not even better than Dak right now. If you would have said Dak, I'd have been like, maybe, okay, cool.
Wait, you mean Dak, who laid an egg just this past week?
I mean, that's
Brock Purdy's like literally in the league for MVP. What are we laughing about?
He's not in the running, but I'm saying Dak has a better taste than him.
They're literally saying Brock Purdy is most likely going to win MVP if he keeps playing like that.
Purdy to play good in order for them to win. Remember 4 weeks ago when they played Seattle in Seattle? Brock Purdy had more touchdowns to Seattle than he did his own team, and they still beat the shit out of Seattle. How's that an MVP?
Anthony told me that game that they needed that.
I like how you said that, Steven. So what has Brock Purdy done since?
Brock Purdy done since? The same thing he does. Play
mind you, I'm aware of what he's done because I have him on my fantasy team. That's why I've been winning. Please tell me.
His offense. He has not faced adversity.
God.
No, he faced adversity. It's when he didn't have Debo. When he didn't have Debo, they lost.
They didn't have a win streak because of Brock Purdy. Christian McCaffrey. 5 weeks ago, all y'all were saying Christian McCaffrey's the MVP. How are you going to change?
I never said Christian McCaffrey was MVP.
I think at the end it's going to be Lamar and CMC.
If it's gonna be anybody on the Niners, it's gonna be McCaffrey. McCaffrey is everything for them.
Who does Brock Purdy elevate? They elevate Brock Purdy.
Because literally,
Purdy's in the running though. Purdy's in the running
just for numbers. But if you're going to put Purdy there, you also have to put Tua. And this was my argument last week. But you had the bad game with Tua in Tennessee. What happened last week without Tua against a good defense? Bald.
I don't want to put Tua in the running.
Out. So if you have to put the two of them there, or if you got to put Purdy there, you also have to put Tua, and you have to put some respect on Tua's name. But Anthony,
I never said I would. I never said I wouldn't. I never said I wouldn't put respect on Tua's name. That's not what I said.
You said you wouldn't put him in the MVP conversation because he played like shit without Tyreek. But then you ignored when the Niners didn't have Debo and Brock Purdy played the worst 3 games.
I said I wouldn't put him above Brock Purdy in the MVP conversation.
I would absolutely put him above Brock Purdy because his stats are better.
Who does Brock Purdy elevate on his team?
Who does he elevate on his team?
Nobody. They elevate him.
Not true. The dude has been.
It's the truth.
If you look at his rest, literally the man has been tossing almost damn near 3 to 4 touchdown passes the past several weeks. You're telling me he doesn't elevate nobody? How do you not elevate nobody? Oh my God! And even the Seattle game you were just talking about, how do you discredit Purdy when he was throwing beautiful dimes to Ayuk that whole game? Like, come on now, you can't do that. Like,
14 points to the Seahawks.
One dime to Ayuk, but the rest of the game he played like dog shit.
But he still had a game-clinching touchdown pass to Ayuk.
Like
all right,
they didn't need that touchdown
on that game.
That's not that. Oh, okay, yeah, me and Dylan, we went at that. They did.
He said they needed that touchdown. They would have won regardless.
That's not true. That's not true at all. That touchdown, Dylan,
like 80 yards of passing.
Dylan, before that touchdown, the Seahawks were still could have came back and won that game. That touchdown pass literally put the game out of reach.
No, they couldn't.
Literally put them out of reach.
He didn't throw a touchdown pass that game.
Yes, he did.
He threw Seattle.
He did. He threw.
No, he threw into.
No, he threw a touchdown pass to Ayuk to close the game out.
The problem here, Anthony, is do you remember the offensive stats of that Seahawks team that game?
It was bad.
It was terrible. So how are you going to tell me?
But then you're talking about a likely probability. Yes, I agree. It was most likely going to happen.
Probability. I'm telling you what was happening.
No, but what I'm saying is the Seahawks were down 24-14. I remember the score. With the time they had left, the Seahawks could have came back. It was still within reach. You don't think they? How much time was left when
we talk about probability? You're talking about probability while ignoring the facts of the game.
There was like 7 minutes left, and they were down by 10 points, Dylan.
And they couldn't.
You're telling me? No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if you're down 10 points, there's still plenty of time left in the game to come back. I'm not saying it was
to magically move the ball.
I'm not saying it was likely they would have came back, but I'm saying that they could have come back. That's still plenty of time.
And they still would have won.
I don't know. I can't tell you what it feels like to think your team's going to come back with 7 minutes left down by 10. That might as well just be a million.
How many times? What I'm trying to say is, how many times have we seen a team play bad and then obviously make a run towards the end of the game? It happened, and it could have happened. But when it's 31-14 and now you're down 3 scores, Yeah, it's a wrap. You can't do
But
nothing.
the thing is, why are we acting like we didn't watch this game? Like you didn't see Geno unable to throw the football.
I saw the game, Dylan.
Ooh,
I'm
No,
saying
like what are we doing?
elevate.
But
Look.
I get what Anthony's saying.
I get
because
what Anthony's saying, but in this instance where the offense was stagnant and couldn't move, how am I supposed to believe against this Niners defense that the Seahawks were going to do that?
but
I've
to
seen
his
teams
point,
play that bad too and still make runs towards the end of the game. I've seen it quite a bit.
to his
I'm not
point,
saying it was gonna.
I didn't think that game was over until he threw that last touchdown.
I thought the game was over before that.
I didn't think that. I thought that touchdown was the dagger touchdown. That was
but it wasn't necessary. That's the thing. It wasn't necessary.
I think
How is that not necessary?
that was
Because
the
they would have
dagger.
won without it.
They might have.
They did.
Or
They would have won that game without it.
they probably would have won the game. But
You could
But there's a reason why it's
no,
called.
in fact, if you take the
But
7
there's a
points
reason
off
why
the board,
you.
they didn't score on their
But
last
there's a
drive
reason why you
regardless.
call. But there's a reason why you
But
call
that's
that an
the same point.
explanation point, Dylan. There's a reason why you call that an explanation point. That
Guess what?
literally shuts
They
the
would have
game
won
down.
if they kicked
It
the field goal. The field goal would have put the game away. You didn't need the touchdown.
But even with the field goal, that's still only down 2 scores. The touchdown makes it a 3-score game as opposed to a 2-score game. That literally shuts the game down
2-score
completely.
game with
And
2
then
minutes, I'm cool.
and then there was more than 3 minutes left on the clock.
On it with
and
an
then-
offense
but-
who couldn't move, I'm cool.
No, but that's what I'm saying. With how
And
bad
on the
Seattle was
Niners,
playing,
I'm cool.
with how bad Seattle was playing, and it's a 3-score
I got
game,
Fred
it's
Warner,
a wrap.
I'm cool. I got Nick Bosa and
Yeah,
Chase
yeah.
Young and
It's
Javon
like,
Kinlaw.
and y'all seen the war
And I
tour
have a
that fucking
2-score
Purdy's
lead?
been on these past
I'm
couple weeks, and
cool.
y'all still trying to say he doesn't influence nobody
I'm
on the team.
cool.
Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
I'm cool.
Doesn't make any sense. Like
You better put up numbers against.
y'all just speaking from. Y'all literally speaking from feelings now. Like you can't look at his stat output the past 2 games and say he doesn't elevate nobody. That's crazy.
Anthony,
elevate nobody. They
Anthony,
elevate.
you
him.
pick and choose when you want stats to be your argument, and that's very annoying. So,
So-
since we're
Oh God.
Look
now,
what he's doing. What did he do?
Oh.
with the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah.
Oh, the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see. What did he do against Seattle the week?
What did he do against the
before
Bengals?
that?
what did you do against the
What
Browns?
did he do? What did he do against the Philadelphia Eagles on the road?
What did he do against the Cincinnati Bengals?
Wait. At Philly, 314 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. A
Cincinnati.
passer, huh?
The road at home against Cincinnati. What did he do?
All the way back in the beginning of the season.
That's not the beginning of the season. That was not the beginning of the season.
What week was that?
2 weeks ago or freaking 8 weeks ago. What did he do? That was at the beginning of the season. Sorry.
Since we're gonna, all right, you know what? Since we're gonna cherry pick games and whatnot, let's see.
That was week 11. That's not the beginning of the season. That was week 11.
Brock Purdy.
That
Wait,
was week,
Brock
hold on,
Purdy.
no, that was week 11.
Brock,
That was
hold on, wait,
week
wait.
11.
Brock
That was
Purdy.
week 11.
Wait. All right, hold on, Dylan. Brock Purdy this season, 29 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. He's thrown for almost 4,000 yards.
Great. Here's what you need to understand, Anthony. This offense made you think Jimmy G was a great quarterback. Do you remember how that felt going into this season? This offense made you think that Jimmy Garoppolo was a great quarterback. You thought they went to the Super Bowl because of Jimmy Garoppolo. You tried to give him all the credit, and then you saw firsthand that he's garbage on your team outside of the Shanahan system. The Shanahan system takes bad quarterbacks, makes them good, makes good.
So it took
quarterbacks,
CJ
makes them
Beathard
great.
and made him into a superstar.
I've seen San Francisco win a playoff game with
It took Sam Darnold and made him into a superstar.
NFC
Has
champion.
Sam Darnold played to do it?
It took Blaine Gabbert and made him a superstar.
Anthony, they played because of injuries, and guess what? They made bad quarterbacks good. Sam Darnold hasn't had a chance to play, so you can't say that.
Trey Lance,
and when he's played, he's handed the ball, so I don't want to hear none of that.
We have seen San Francisco go into Philly, and the minute Purdy goes down, it was a wrap. They get the doors blown out of it.
They were doing stuff with Josh Johnson. He got hurt.
They weren't doing anything with Josh.
No, that's why I said Josh Johnson. If Josh Johnson didn't get hurt, they would have won that fucking football game.
Oh, who's going to throw the ball? I don't have to worry about throwing the ball. Put 9 in the box. You're not going to throw it. Let Christian McCaffrey throw the ball.
That's what I'm saying, man. The Shanahan offense for years. We've seen Robert Griffin. We've seen Kirk Cousins. We've seen Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan went from a good quarterback to an elite quarterback and then took 4 steps back the second Shanahan left.
How was Tua playing before he got put in the Shanahan offense?
He was playing all right.
No, he was garbage. You remember they were part of that team that had an 8-game win streak and an 8-game lose streak in the same season. Do you remember that, Anthony?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You said Tua was garbage?
Tua
He's
was
had
trash.
I wouldn't say it was garbage. He had flashes. Like
No,
I remember that.
Bad in that offense. He was bad. He had NFL people thinking in Miami that he wasn't that good.
Because Brian Flores, because the Miami brass wanted him out of there, and I remember sitting on here saying that they're crazy if they get rid of Tua because
it was too early for Tua. But then you put him in that Shanahan system with somebody who has called plays and knows that offense. You could make bad quarterbacks good in that system.
Tua and Brock Purdy do the same exact shit. And how you stop them? The same exact way.
So how have they stopped Brock Purdy this year?
Ask the Browns, ask the Vikings, and ask the Bengals.
Ask the Browns?
Yeah, Browns beat them. You forget?
Do you remember that game?
Yeah, it wasn't at the beginning of the season.
No, I didn't say it was the beginning of the season.
I remember that game. Do you remember that game?
I do remember that.
They lost to Dorian Thompson-Robinson in the
no, but how do you stop the Niners?
Walker. He's not even on a team.
You get to the quarterback.
Make it sound like it's so easy.
I mean, I see 3 teams here who did it. But
and
again,
I see 11 teams, who did.
The problem is you take the best weapons away from San Fran, and Brock Purdy plays terrible. The second they lost Debo, they were terrible.
Guess what's going to happen? You're going to find out how bad Brock Purdy is. They're going to pay Brock Purdy? Guess who?
Right now they are going to pay him.
Or
now here's where I will agree with you guys on one notion. I don't think they're going to overpay for Brock Purdy, and I don't think he's going to be worth as much as they may have to or want to pay him. That I will say that because I'm not going to say and completely ignore the fact that he doesn't have a hell of a team around him. I don't think he should be getting paid Jalen Hurts to Joe Burrow money.
Jalen Hurts money, but hey.
Well, that's another conversation. But that in that tier, I don't think you should be getting that tier money because I think Brock Purdy is a very good quarterback. I think he does get a lot of help from the fact that he has that team around him. So I think the 49ers will eventually make that mistake, unfortunately, of giving him that kind of money.
It's time to pay Ayuk.
And they have to get rid of people this year.
I don't think the 49ers want to think about what's on the horizon after this year. I don't think they want to.
One of the higher paid wide receivers, one of the highest paid linebackers.
But Dylan, you can't let go of Christian McCaffrey after this. You can't do that.
So
who do you get rid of?
MVP?
Then who do you get rid of?
If you had to choose between Debo and McCaffrey, who goes?
Well, you have to get rid of Debo. If you get rid of Debo, his contract kills you because he just signed a contract. If you get rid of McCaffrey, it's the last year of his contract. The guaranteed money's gone. If you get rid of Debo, you have that and the dead money hit. You can't do that.
So McCaffrey's just too valuable. McCaffrey's too valuable.
Get CMC for like some void years or something like that.
You would have to literally void out you make McCaffrey's contract sign a roster bonus, and then you'd have to sign him to a contract where like the first 2 years just don't exist.
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
And then you'd still have to get rid of people. They have to clear up like $30 million in money to be able to like operate.
All that.
Wait, is that even before Bosa's contract even hits the book?
Yes.
Ooh. God damn.
Being said, Dylan, I stand by my statement. They are not getting rid of Christian McCaffrey because he's too valuable. There's not another him. There's not another him.
So McCaffrey's the MVP?
If it was up to me, he would be in the. I don't think he's MVP. I think Lamar's the MVP, but I think Tyreek is coming on strong.
Well,
his
he's been
Tariq
off
is-
the last 2 weeks.
His
He's done.
injury is gonna cost him just like it cost Jalen Hurts last year. But I would give it to Lamar before I give it to CMC. But I would give it to CMC before a lot of these quarterbacks. I just
Mike,
think
before you move
Lamar
on,
is
I want to ask Anthony a question. If you had to choose between getting rid of Brock Purdy or getting rid of Christian McCaffrey, who are you getting rid of? No money. Just talking player for player. Who are you getting rid of?
That's gonna be tough.
It's
But I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to get rid of McCaffrey.
You're insane. You could put Jimmy
The quarter-
Garoppolo back on this team right now, and Jimmy Garoppolo, the last healthy season he had with
Hold
San
on,
Francisco,
Dylan.
had
Before
the
we
same
get
exact
back on,
stat line as Brock
hold
Purdy
on,
has
hold
right
on,
now.
hold on. Let me tell you why Garoppolo has stunk this year. All right. First off, I don't know what the
Team
fuck
stinks.
happened to. I don't know. Hold on. I don't know what the fuck happened to that man's accuracy, but that man's was throwing ducks all fucking year.
He wasn't being hidden
Underthrowing
by play calling.
Shanahan's offense.
But you can call the plays. The quarterback still has to throw the ball, and the dude's been throwing ducks all fucking year. He wasn't doing that in San Francisco.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't doing that to the extent he was doing with us.
He almost
This
lost the NFC Championship game because of an RPO that he fucked up. And then in the Super Bowl, he threw that same RPO against Kansas City and was picked off and sealed them.
Why do you think
He lost us the Lions game? He lost us the Steelers game? He lost us what other game?
He lost every game you played.
Yeah, he lost us damn near every single game.
Denver, he lost because
Yes.
you take him out of a system by the best play caller in football.
Even the Packers game that we won, we should have lost that.
Quarterbacks look good. This is what happens. You took him out of the safest place to be
But
at
still,
quarterback.
even then, Jimmy Garoppolo was still making good throws in San Fran. He was still making good throws. Those good throws were
They were
non-existent
wide
with
open.
us.
That's why. He had the same group.
It's not like we couldn't get open either. We had Devontae Adams. It's like one of the
You
best
only
receivers
had
at
Devontae
creating
Adams.
separation.
That's the problem.
No, Jacoby Myers has had a good year too, Dan.
Jacoby Myers is not Brandon Ayuk. He's not Brandon Ayuk, though.
He's not Brandon Ayuk, but he's had a good year. Don't disrespect
He's not
Jacoby
Brandon Ayuk.
Myers.
Brandon Ayuk is a baller.
I'm not saying he's Brandon Ayuk, but Jacoby Myers has put
You
up good
guys
numbers.
don't have the weapons or the offensive line or the play caller. That's
Don't forget he somehow forgot that Hunter Renfrow was on our team too, which I don't know what the fuck is going
so
on.
who cares?
Look, remember in the NFC Championship game against Green Bay, he threw 8 passes. They were 8 of the worst passes I've ever seen. That's why they ended up throwing 8 passes that game. Shanahan's like,
Mostert had like 4 billion rushing yards.
he's gonna run it.
And then when
Wasn't
Green
it
Bay
snow in
started
that
coming
game?
back, he almost fucked up.
Wasn't it snow in that game?
No, it was in San
Or
Fran.
wasn't? Wait, I'm mixing up games. I thought you were
That game
talking about
was
the
in
Green
San
Bay
Fran.
one, the one in Lambeau.
Oh, you're talking about if Steven might be talking the Lambeau one. They just ran the ball. Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball like fucking 40 times that game. He didn't give a fuck about the snow. If we're talking about the one that went to the Super Bowl, he threw the ball I think 12 times.
8 times.
8, yeah. Mostert 400 billion yards.
Yeah, but I don't think Purdy's Garoppolo. I think Purdy's honestly a better quarterback
Purdy
than
is
Garoppolo.
absolutely Garoppolo because
He's
he's
Garoppolo without the interceptions.
He's
That's a
Garoppolo
better
without the
quarterback.
injuries.
And he's better arm, better accuracy too. He's much better He's much better of an accurate thrower than
Garoppolo
Garoppolo.
in San Fran was accurate.
Purdy's more accurate.
They're identical quarterbacks. Like, what are we doing here?
You're saying if you took Purdy off of San Francisco, I think he would be a better. If you put Purdy on the Raiders, I think we would be doing better.
You put Purdy on the Raiders, you'd be cussing him.
No, I think we'd be doing better than what Garoppolo did with us. Absolutely. If you put Purdy on the Raiders.
What'd you say Brock Purdy's completion percentage was?
For what?
This year. What did you say his completion percentage was?
I didn't say.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I just said he had like 29 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
He had a better.
He's throwing for like almost 4,000 yards.
He's definitely an MVP running. That's for sure.
Jimmy G
Ross.
every
all
year.
Of that, yes, Ross. He's
Jimmy G every year he's been healthy in San Fran has put up identical numbers to Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but you're also saying that
Identical
the
numbers
minute.
for Brock Purdy.
Yeah, but you're also saying that the minute he leaves San Francisco, Brock Purdy's going to be a nobody.
Yes, I am, because he's not going to be saved by Kyle Shanahan anymore.
I mean, we're not going to see it ever play out, unfortunately. But I just
You don't think? Okay.
like here's my thing. How many games did we play with Jimmy G this year before we let
Not
him
a
go?
lot.
Was it
I just want to point out in 2019, Jimmy
it was
G
8. It was
had
8.
69% completion percentage, which is identical to Brock Purdy.
Okay, no, but I've already seen those stats. But Dylan, I've seen those stats already.
4,000 yards,
Dylan,
which is identical to what
I've seen
Brock
those
Purdy just
stats.
went
I've
through.
seen those stats already. All right, I can copy and paste and read
They're
numbers
the
like you.
same.
Okay.
No, see, look at you. You're devaluing stats after using stats as your argument.
But Dylan,
Can't do
the same way you asked me this question, I'm going to ask you this question, Dylan. In the 8 games we played with Garoppolo, if you swap him out with Purdy, do we have a better record than 3-5?
Wait, what? Say that again.
In the 8 games we played this year with Garoppolo, which we went 3-5, do we have a better record if we swap Garoppolo out with Purdy?
No.
Because they're the same. They're the same player.
You're asking Brock Purdy to come out of Shanahan's offense to go to Josh McDaniels.
How many
With
times
a worse
was Jimmy
offensive
G
line.
and how many times was
With a
Jimmy G
worse
in the
weapons.
MVP conversation?
He probably was in the MVP conversation in 2019, to be honest. But then he just went away
I don't
because
ever remember a
everyone's
single
like,
time when Jimmy G was even an
Kyle
MVP
Shanahan.
consideration.
If you're calling for Brock Purdy to be in the MVP conversation and then looking at the same exact stats and say that guy is not an MVP, you're on crack.
Yeah, but there's more context behind just numbers.
No, there's not.
When
There's not.
Yes,
There's
it is.
not.
When you have actual players on the team saying, "Hey, Brock Purdy is literally balling and elevating people on the
And
team."
everybody's
Trent
saying
Williams
Christian
said,
McCaffrey on that team says that he should be the MVP.
But they're also saying because again, they know about the criticisms Purdy began because people like you always trying to discredit him, and they're literally saying, no, Purdy is literally elevating the people around us. Purdy is balling. Trent Williams said it himself.
Cap.
No.
So he must be capped too then. I mean, he must be capping them.
Because they sit there and they say McCaffrey's the MVP. So which one do you believe in? McCaffrey from his own teammates saying he's the MVP, or Brock Purdy is the fucking day?
Yeah, but forget MVP. Y'all don't even think Purdy be balling.
We're not forgetting MVP because he's. We're
no, but y'all don't
MVP.
even say Purdy be balling though. So like,
no, Purdy balls. He plays well, but again, he's not doing a lot. A lot of his stuff is literally, I'm going to hit this drag, and Debo's going to break fucking 4 tackles and then go to the end zone. McCaffrey, I'm going to go whoop, 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 and I'm going to hurdle a guy, and then I'm going to go to the end zone.
Plus,
let's ignore all this dots to Kittle. Let's ignore all this dots to Ayuk.
What other quarterback is running the ball that much?
Like, if you take a look at Christian McCaffrey's receiving stats, it's not because Purdy's throwing him a 40-yard bomb. It's because he catches the ball at the line of scrimmage and just goes whoop, 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 and is gone.
Here's the thing, Dylan.
I got something for you. You talk about what he did against Philly. He threw 2 screen passes that went freaking 50 yards, and then 1 5-yard freaking catch in the middle of the field that went another 40.
That Debo Samuel pass to wrap that game up, to run up the score was a 40-yard touchdown pass at the line of scrimmage.
Is it his fault Philly didn't know how to tackle?
He destroyed Philly?
Here's the thing, though. I must give Anthony credit because last week, this was before this Sunday's past games, I was watching the major network, and they were talking about this very topic, and it got very heated, like this topic. And I must admit, I was given stats on the show
about his air yards. Yeah, it's still dog shit.
But not just the air. His time, his average air yards is right there with everyone else. The yards that his receivers get after the catch is right in the middle of the pack.
They don't want to end up.
Yeah, it's right.
Does that count as running back?
Passes that he's completed. That was the stat. Passes that he's completed.
That stat is stupid. I don't understand that stat because when we watch him, those are the things
I understand
right?
that we see that. I'm just telling you what the stats that y'all love.
No. Well, I'm going to do what Anthony says, and I'm going to throw those stats out the window. Because
why I wanted
for
to
the
bring
sake
it
of
up,
my argument
because-
now, those stats are stupid, so we don't care about them, right, Anthony? When we don't care about stats, when they're against our argument, we don't care.
Oh God, I can't right now. I can't.
First game 2 weeks ago, what happened? He handed the ball off to Christian McCaffrey for like a 73-yard run.
You know what scares me? I'm almost scared to hop on this show if Purdy were to win MVP, because I don't even want to imagine what you would.
I don't run from smoke. I
No,
don't
no,
run from
no.
smoke.
It's not. It's not you guys running. It's just what y'all would even say to just bring that man and his achievement down. Like
I would say they gave it to the wrong Niner, as would I think the majority of the football world would say they gave it to the wrong Niner.
Yes, the same way that I would have said that if they gave it to Tua over Tyreek. Because
I mean, now that
absolutely-
Tyreek can't get 2,000, he can't win. But Tua putting up the stats he's doing is great.
So,
But here's the thing for me, Tyreek doesn't need 2,000 yards. As he has to do something that's never been done in football is the only way.
Nah, but he
But
kind
that's
of has
how the
though.
award is voted for.
Yeah,
But
you got to think
know how
about the
I feel
award
about
though.
that, though, and that's ridiculous to me.
it's
Because
hard.
you
No.
can-
Imagine
we can
knowing the
see-
rules and then getting mad at the rules.
We can see with our own eyes. Those aren't the rules. Those are unofficial
We
made up
know
rules.
how these things are.
Those aren't the rules.
We know how the award gets voted for. So we know what the rules are for this award. If that's the case, J.J. Watt should have won MVP over Aaron Rodgers that year. He absolutely
JJ Watt
should've
absolutely should have won MVP that year.
Looking pedestrian because their MVP rolled his ankle and got hurt.
Can we
And
look
then
at the last 30 MVPs? How many of them been a skill player?
Yeah, about to say
Like
it's
Adrian
not
Peterson
fair.
won MVP because he did something ridiculous.
Ran
Yeah,
for 2,000.
Yeah, Tyreek would have to hit 2,000.
If
He
you're
would have
not
to.
a quarterback, you have to do something that is so utterly ridiculous that you can't even think about anything else.
And what I'm saying is that's ridiculous.
Carrying that team with Christian.
I agree because
But
Cup
that's
won.
the precedent that's set.
Didn't Cup have the triple crown? He still didn't win.
Didn't
So,
Yes,
like,
I
think
was
about it.
saying he should have been
Think
MVP
about it,
last
like,
year.
That's just how
It was
is,
Jalen.
unfortunately.
To
the
me,
precedent
it
that
should
has
have been
been set.
Jalen Hurts, Cooper Kupp, Patrick Mahomes. That should have been the
But
one.
unfortunately,
last
that's
Jalen
year.
how-
Hurts that year shouldn't have touched the MVP. You need to stop it.
Come on, man.
The way with Cooper,
How?
when the year Cooper Kupp did the triple crown, where when Jalen Hurts was dog shit, I was gonna say keep him out of that. Keep him out of that.
I'm combining his 2 years.
Hurts? No. Last year, no. You see, Pat Mahomes with the receivers, the same receivers he have, how are they doing now? Last year's MVP was justified. How
It's like the precedent has been set with how MVP gets voted for.
break down mentally. When?
Well, that happens when Kadarius Toney's one of your. Did he drop another catch that led to an interception this week?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he did.
Yes, let's
Yes.
move
Oh,
on.
God.
Let's move on.
Yes.
Okay.
I am going to
All
move
right.
on. You're right, Dylan. You're right. I am going to move on because we have to bring Breezy back in here because it is time to talk basketball as we do every week. Breezy, you there? Oh, there you go. All right. Just making sure. Before we move on to basketball, I just wanted to stop and take a moment to let everyone know watching this that the day that we recorded this, the Knicks have won their last 2 games against the Lakers down there, and tonight Brooklyn over there, just packing both up by more than 10 points each time. So stop clapping at me.
Bing bong, bing bong, bing.
These are our championships. So I mean,
I knew Ross was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that when he was quiet in the chat. Oh, this is your chance.
So can I say something before we officially move on?
championship.
So did you guys see the Rashard Mendenhall tweet
Yes.
about
No.
how there should be an all black and all white Pro Bowl because he's sick of white
Oh,
dudes talking shit on the
Did you
internet?
see the responses? Did you see the responses they got too?
They're elite.
Wasn't Will Compton saying some dumb shit?
Will
Him
Compton
fumbling,
stuff was
like,
hilarious.
everything.
Him trying to justify like white people playing just all together and how they could try to win was hilarious. And I saw a lot of people who really thought what his shit said was funny. I'm interested in doing an all-time team because you can't do a current team. You can't because
The cornerback
there's no
position is going to be
corners.
tough for the
There's no
all-white team.
corners.
It's going to be
There's no
tough for the all.
corners. There's no corners at all. So I don't know.
That's what's going to fuck the all-white team up in my head. I'm just like, who do I put as corners? Like,
But to be fair, if it's a field goal game, the black team's in trouble.
oh yeah, the black team's getting smoked.
Team's in trouble.
Yeah, black team's getting smoked.
And what do you do
Nah,
with
you gotta put Ocho Cinco in there. Let him play kicker. It was all good.
my favorite part of all this is nobody having an answer what to do with the mixed guys. Nobody knows what to do with the mixed guys.
You have to get a flip.
Mendenhall's just talking some foolishness, man. He's just in his
He's talking crazy, but I had this idea that if you're gonna do a black and a white team, you leave a few positions open, and then you just draft mixed guys.
Yeah,
You take the 10 best mixed guys and draft them.
because the white team severely has a disadvantage at corner, so you have to let the mixed guys play corner.
And do you leave the Spanish and the Polynesians out?
They don't exist. They
Because
don't exist.
where's Puka Nakua?
They're in the booth. We're in the
Where's
booth.
Puka Nakua? Where's Gonzalez? Like where are all these guys? They're just sitting there in the crowd, just not knowing who to cheer for. So that's the thing. I would love to do an all-time version of this, and I think that'd be great.
But that white team would have Tom Brady.
Who cares? All black team would have fucking Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham.
That's the quarterback you pull out?
I'm not gonna pull up Donovan Gab.
But Warren Moon?
Warren Moon's a baller. I don't know what you're talking about.
But it was so random.
How is that random?
Warren,
It's an all-time great.
It is, but it's not.
What quarterback are you picking?
Who am I going to have start? I probably would have Mike Vick start.
Over Warren Moon? Over Lamar Jackson?
I'd do Randall Cunningham.
You're going to have the worst Mike Vick over the better Mike Vick.
No. As I heard, we're doing this as guys in their prime. Did I not hear that? Or
I just said all time. And you say prime Mike Vick is better than prime Lamar Jackson? Is that what you're telling me?
So
is that what you're telling me?
Are you pulling up 47-year-old Tom Brady right now? That's what we're doing?
No, I'm digging guys up. I'm digging guys up to play.
Exactly. Like
no. I didn't use those words. That's what I was doing. I was being literal. I didn't use those words. But you would take prime Vic over prime Lamar?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's me.
It's always you. Would you guys take prime Vic over prime Lamar?
No.
Nah.
And I would consider Mike Vick. I would consider prime Cam Newton also.
Oh yeah,
love
prime
Cam Newton. No, I'm not taking Cam Newton over Warren Moon.
Cam Newton or Lamar?
Warren Moon, he can move. I don't know if he'd be
or Randall Cunningham.
Enough. I don't know if he'd be athletic enough to play in that game.
Randall Cunningham.
Be him.
But if at that point I'm just going to play Lamar Jackson. Prime Lamar better than prime Vic.
I thought we were talking about the Knicks. How did this happen?
I wanted to say something before we moved on to basketball. Sorry. Go ahead. We're back. Basketball is my favorite.
Bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang.
Cool.
Last time I sang that song, James wanted to fight me. He was just like, don't ever sing that again.
Because it was Hip Hop 50th and you were making a parody.
I sang the bars word for word.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
shout out to the Knicks.
Shout out to the Knicks. Bing bong.
Before we get Roz, how did you feel about seeing the Lakers raise that banner? Because I didn't really see you talk about it in the chat.
I mean, that's why I put it on there, right? I put my background up so I could celebrate our championship, quote unquote, raising the banner.
Are we really celebrating this stupid thing?
It's the league.
Yeah, Lakers fans are.
It's
nobody's really celebrating this. The only reason
Roz, are you genuinely happy about this?
I can't believe how fans You can't celebrate anything. No accomplishments. This is terrible.
I'm celebrating. That's why I have the background celebrating the.
But why don't you have
No,
the
I just wanted to
in-season
know if like you were
tournament
if this genuinely made you feel good that they won this.
I couldn't find the in-season tournament background, so I just used.
Did you genuinely look for an in-season tournament background, Ross?
I just had this is what I had on
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I want to know how Lakers fans really feel about this. Like,
we're happy.
It's
We're
an
excited.
accomplishment.
We're actually we're like that's really cool. You know, like we'll always be the first ever in-season tournament champion. So.
I would feel.
I don't mean to interrupt you, Ross, but what's crazy is I hear Anthony asking this question, but if the Knicks had won the in-season tournament, he wouldn't be asking that question.
No, I would. Like, I would feel conflicted. Like, I'd just be like,
why?
Whatever.
It's an
like,
accomplishment still.
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, but it's not.
If the Nets would have won, I'm like, hell yeah, we won.
It's an accomplishment. I don't understand how.
Like, hell yeah, we won. Like, because we're not going to win the title. So it's like,
you see what I'm saying? Like, it feels so consolation-ish. Like, it's just,
That's not consolation. You had to work to win that. Does it matter in the grand scheme of things? Probably not.
But sitting here and saying, "Oh, we're sitting here," and saying, "Oh, we're not going to win the title," but this is cool. Like, come on, like that doesn't make you feel like.
If the playoffs start and the Lakers get swept in the first round, but we got that in-season tournament title.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
they won't be saying that.
I mean, we have an actual title in the past 5 years. So it's like,
but Rise, that's
to jump to that.
But that's a legitimate thing, Rise. Like, if y'all get swept in the first,
you asked me how I feel. I said I'm excited. It's not like winning an actual championship. I can tell you that was amazing, but like, it's still an accomplishment. I'm happy for the boys. For the young guys on the team. I think they deserve it.
And on the flip side of that, Steve, to answer your question, what happens if the Lakers do win the championship? Do we now not have the Lakers? The Lakers aren't able to say we won the in-season tournament and the postseason tournament, because that's talking a lot right there.
One of the greatest teams of all time.
They have to be obnoxious. All Lakers fans should be obnoxious. Say we won the fake title and the real title.
This 2023-2024 Lakers team is the greatest Laker team of all time because we're the only Laker team to win the in-season tournament and the NBA title.
Ever to win 2 titles.
Name me another team that's done both. I'll wait.
Name me another team that's done both.
I'll wait.
First time.
Bring the obnoxiousness. I'm all for it.
Give me the 86 Celtics. Give me the fucking 84 Lakers. Give me the fucking 96 Bulls. They don't got a mid-season tournament and a championship.
Ran the gauntlet.
I learned today on First Take the 82 Sixers are the greatest basketball team of all time.
Who said that, Mad Dog?
What?
Of course he did. When he
said that, Dog.
When he said that Shaq is not one of the 5 greatest centers of all time.
Saw that.
Wait, what? But and he's probably getting like paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to say shit like that.
That's what he's on.
Anthony does that shit for free.
It's called.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like that shit. Oh my god. Like,
I'm a native New Yorker. I've been watching Mad Dog my entire life.
Yep.
I have heard him say this before. I don't think that Stephen A. and Jay Williams knew where that was going to go when they were talking about it, but I knew where it was going because I know that Mad Dog does not like Shaq at all. He doesn't think Shaq's very good at all. He doesn't have Shaq in his top 10. He thinks Shaq is barely in the top 15 of all time. So I knew where that conversation was going. And yes, Stephen, like all of us who watch the game and actually know the game, it's just mind-boggling to even think Shaq is not one of the 3 or 4 best centers of all time.
You said not even top. You said not top 15.
I know he doesn't think Shaq is top 15 all time. I know he doesn't think that.
For radio, he just got inducted in the Hall of Fame recently.
Well, you said just for centers?
Of centers
or
players?
Yeah, both. He doesn't think Shaq is a top 5 center, and he doesn't think Shaq is in the top 15 of all time. I've heard him say both before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who did he put for his top 5 centers?
What's the point? It's invalid.
He didn't get to say Kareem because it just went left. But
he said Kareem, and the second he said Will, everyone was like, "Nope."
He said Kareem Kareem, Wilt,
You want?
Hakeem.
Kareem, Hakeem, Wilt, Moses Malone, and Bill
Look at
Russell.
Jay shook his head.
Most Malone's
And-
top
and I
five.
can-
Let's put some respect on
And I
Moses
can
Malone.
tell you
'Cause
because
it's
I've heard him say this
blasphemous.
before, and I've heard him say this before. He also thinks George Mikan is better than Shaq,
Oh my
but he has this love
That's some
affair with
Anthony
George
shit.
Mikan. He
That's
has
some
this
Anthony
love affair
shit.
with George Mikan. So
That's some Anthony shit.
Look. I don't agree with that, but I can respect him for actually acknowledging him. But I don't agree with that. Just saying.
fuck out of here.
it's ridiculous.
Shaq is better than everybody that you mentioned in that list, except for Kareem.
Kareem is like the only
Kareem is
one.
the only one that you could give me that. Shaq better than all those other dudes. All of them.
I would take Shaq over
All
all
of
of them except Kareem
All
too.
of them.
I would take Moses Malone off that list and put Shaq. I would take Moses at like 6.
I don't feel like having this fucking fight with you right now because I've become enraged with that.
So who do you take
Moses
off that list to
Malone
put Shaq in?
hate. Wilt.
Crickets. Okay. I mean,
Why do people
I put
hate
Shaq
Wilt? Why
over
do people
Wilt.
hate Wilt so much? I don't understand.
Ask Dylan. I'm not getting into this again. Ask Dylan why he hates Wilt so much.
Wilt got dog walked by Bill Russell his entire career as a player, as a coach, as a player
God.
coach.
But that doesn't.
He
take-
could dominate everybody
According
else.
to
but he's
Dylan, that
called Bill
100 point. According to Dylan, that 100-point game never happened.
Didn't
It
happen.
didn't.
Well, James doesn't think it happened either.
Didn't happen.
So March
None of the
2nd,
stories- none of the
1962, in Hershey,
stories-
Pennsylvania, that game never happened.
None of
That
those
100
stories about that
thing
game
happened.
match up. The scorecard for that game didn't happen. Wilt said that during that game when he scored the 100th point, that the game stopped and they stormed the court. Every single radio thing or anything that covers that game doesn't reference that at all.
All you have
That's-
is a picture.
All you have is the fucking picture. You don't have any actual proof that it actually happened. All the people who
So
played
he's
are
just
dead.
going to put a
All
picture
the
up for no
people who are
reason.
there are dead.
But what's the Wilt truthers about though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So that picture's just fake? You just put that picture up for
Why
just...
is there
No, the
so
picture's
much
real.
energy put to discredit Wilt?
No, I'm saying, why would he put a
Chamberlain?
picture of 100 if he didn't do that? Like, what does
It's the
that,
same
what
thing
does
like
that
Babe
do
Ruth
for him?
calling his shot. There's no proof of Babe Ruth calling his shot. None.
But why the Wilt truthers? What about Wilt is the one that makes?
I don't like
everyone
Wilt
go?
because Wilt was the ultimate front runner, and he dog walked everybody. But the second he got real competition, he got ate up.
But Bill Russell is also a very great player, so it's like he got.
Bill Russell is better than Wilt. That's why I didn't say take Bill Russell out of the top 5.
But that doesn't take away from Wilt, though.
Yes, it does.
How? If he just lost
Because
to
he
one
also is
person?
like 2 and fucking
the
6
man-
in the NBA Finals, as
No,
well.
All right. So
But you
if we're
can't.
gonna
But,
talk
but then what about LeBron then? Like,
No,
come
This
on,
is
man.
a
That.
top 5 center conversation. We're not
But
But you
talking
can't. You
LeBron.
can't shit on. You can't shit on Will for his finals
if we're
record, but then you
talking-
defend
wait,
LeBron for
wait,
his.
wait,
Like,
wait,
come
wait,
on.
wait.
I'm
No,
taking
stop,
Will out of the
stop,
top
stop,
5
stop,
centers. I'm not taking him
stop.
out of the top 10 all time. I'm not doing that. If we're discussing centers and only centers, then my reasoning is different. If we're talking about top 10, Wilt is still in my top 10. Right? Moses is
The
not
man
my top
averaged
10.
50 points a game for a whole fucking season.
Great,
dude. Like,
great. But if we're talking about centers, Shaq is better than Wilt. Sure, Wilt scored a lot of points in an era where there's people who are 5'10" as your league average. Like, who cares? He played guys who are against his same height, and he got dog walked. So what are we
here's my
doing
thing.
here?
So here's my thing. What is Wilt
fake.
supposed to do playing basketball? Like I'm just trying to understand. Like
Wilt dominated the game so much. Why didn't he win more in an era where there's all of 5 teams?
Because he ran into Bill Russell.
Yeah, it's not Back to the Future.
And he still runs
So-
2
so he-
championships.
so
You
he
act
ran
like he
into
just
Bill
didn't win
Russell.
anything.
So that means Bill Russell takes his place. Right?
No, I said just get Moses Malone out of there. Like, you just
You can't take
Would
Moses
you
Malone.
agree-
just-
would you agree that
Moses
Wilt
Malone is
had-
a multiple-time MVP and NBA champion. You can't take him out.
Who do you think had better talent, Wilt around him, but Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal?
Are we adjusting for inflation?
Wait, what?
Adjusting for inflation?
What do you mean adjusting for
Because-
inflation?
Because if you want to talk about talent, Wilt Chamberlain played with the fucking logo.
I would say Wilt played with some guys.
Wilt played
I
with
mean,
talent.
I mean,
So what are we
let's
doing?
not act like
Yeah, but
Wilt-
Shaq played with Kobe Bryant.
Listen, no
Shaq
disrespect.
played
to
with
the
Kobe Bryant,
logo.
who's in everyone's top 3 list of
No
all time.
disrespect to the logo.
Come on now.
That's a guy that
Well, come on, Mike. You know, most people's top three, they're gonna say Kobe Bryant.
I think
You guys are
he's
talking over
overrated
each
when he
other.
gets ranked a lot, and I think
My
he
bad,
gets
my
a
bad.
lot of clout for being the logo. But I don't think that Jerry West is that freaking good that he's going to be up in a lot of
Back
people's
then,
lists like
he
that.
was.
But
That's
listen,
the difference.
But Wilt back then was also like that. So why do
He
we
was
give
like
the
that to everybody,
logo?
but when it mattered.
But why give the logo more clout than Wilt when we
I'm not
know
giving
the
logo more clout.
wasn't?
Well, I didn't say that.
I'm just saying, like,
You asked me
I
who
think
he played with.
let's stay on track because the argument was the talent around him. So they mentioned the logo, so that's the reason why he's there. They're not arguing how dominant they were back then.
That's why I said, are we adjusting for inflation? Because the logo then probably translates to a Kobe Bryant in 2000.
no, absolutely
Hell.
not.
In the 50s?
Absolutely not.
What are we doing?
Absolutely
Hold on.
not. Absolutely not.
Jerry West wasn't.
Yeah, Jerry West was a bad
I
man.
would disagree with
I
you
mean, no,
there,
I
Raz.
would not disagree. I would
That's a
definitely
bad
disagree with
man.
you on that.
Then you'd
I'm not
have to change the logo.
Then you
So
have
let
to
me ask
change
you a question.
everything.
Let me ask you a question. One of the main arguments that people have against, and this is a side note, but I want to use it as a comparison. A lot of people say that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan because of the talent that he had to play against versus what Michael Jordan had to play. So Kobe Bryant had to play with more talent against him than Jerry I did.
That's not what I.
then. Even if
I
but I'm
asked
trying to give
you,
you the analogy, though. I'm trying to give you the analogy.
but the
here.
analogy has nothing to do with what I
How could
asked.
you say that Jerry West was just as good as Kobe Bryant if he played against lesser talent? If you can sit here and
I
say
asked
that
you if we were
Wilt
adjusting
wasn't
to
as good
inflation.
as Shaq,
That's what I asked you if we were
played against
adjusting to
lesser talent.
inflation.
how is that?
If we were
work?
adjusting to inflation based off of the talent that was playing when Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain were playing, Jerry West was Kobe Bryant. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't agree with that.
Because
Doesn't make any sense.
who in that era was touching Jerry West? At
But
that
who was
point,
touching Wilt outside of Bill Russell?
who was touching
man.
Shaq? Who was touching Shaq?
There's a few people that had
Nobody.
talent that
Nobody
touching
was
Shaq.
touching Shaq.
That's not true.
In that
Because Shaq
2000 year,
because
who
Shaq-
was touching him?
Because the Spurs beat Shaq, though.
In 2000, when Shaq had
But the
the
Spurs
most
beat
dominant
Shaq,
fucking
though.
MVP win in 2000, he
Wait,
was the
wait,
most
wait.
dominant player in
Time
NBA
out.
history in 2000.
Shaq
Who?
isn't undefeated against.
I didn't.
talent
I'm not
was
saying that.
dominant.
I'm asking you if we're adjusting to inflation, right? So with that meaning, if we're talking, you said, oh, the only person who was stopping Wilt was Bill Russell. In that 2000s run with Shaq, who was stopping Shaq?
But I'm telling you that he lost to the Admiral and Tim Duncan.
When?
So wait, they've never lost to the Spurs?
I never said that. I said,
You're asking me when,
who
but it's
stopped
only time
Shaq?
they lost
Who
then.
could physically stop Shaq? Because you said Bill Russell. Who was stopping Shaq? Because I guarantee you Shaq dominated David Robinson in those
So you
series.
tell me who's stronger than Shaq? Is
No,
that what you're asking me?
who could stop Shaq? Because Shaq didn't get stopped. They may have lost, but Shaq did not get stopped.
But
And
that's
you know,
like-
and you as a Lakers fan know very well because you watched those championship runs. Nobody was stopping
Are you
Shaq.
saying that Will didn't score points against Bill Russell? I don't understand what you're asking.
No, but Wilt compared to, if you want to go based on averages and then points lost when he met Bill Russell, his points per game dropped by 25 points when he played Bill Russell.
But that's what I'm saying. That's one
Who
man.
stopped Shaq like that? Who stopped Shaq?
Nobody stopped Shaq.
The only person who could stop Shaq was Shaq. So now that we got that out of the way,
But
because you said the only person who's stopping Wilt is Bill, who was stopping Shaq?
But I'm just trying to tell you that the
Nobody.
thing about it is
So
like,
if we're adjusting to inflation based on the talent that's in that era and how much better Jerry West was than everybody else who was playing, Jerry West in that era was as good as Kobe Bryant was in his era when playing next to Wilt Chamberlain.
but based
as
on
was
what
playing
is
with
Jerry
Shaq.
West as good as Kobe Bryant? Based on what? What talent did he have to go against that would have stopped him?
You are
Well,
missing
to
the
add-
point completely.
I think he is, but I just
It's
wanna add
completely
some-
just gone completely
How?
over his
I'm
head.
not
some-
even doing
but I
that.
wanna
I'm just saying,
add
like,
some
the talent
stats.
levels across the
I-
board, if we're going to adjust
Uh,
against different eras, you
I'm
can't say
just
that. It's the talent
inserting
gap.
some
That's a
talent
valid
gap.
question from Ross. It's a valid
That's a
question.
talent gap. Who's going against Jerry West? Who?
I think Jerry started playing those runs with
Wasn't he
Wilt.
going against Dr. J?
Nope.
No.
Not yet. That was
Well-
ABA. So he would have been playing against
He was
Oscar
playing
Robertson.
against Oscar Robertson, but he was playing against the
Does the-
Havlicek Celtics. That's who kept beating them.
The same. I mean,
Yeah.
like, think about it. It's the same teams. It's the same. It's the
No, but I'm
same
saying
teams.
if we're comparing, if we're going per inflation, it's the same shit. It's
No.
Shaq
But
and
listen,
Kobe is Wilt and Jerry.
Kobe Bryant was not only stopped by one whole team. Like, let's be honest with that. Kobe Bryant ran the gauntlet. That Lakers team had to run the gauntlet against a lot of talent, a lot more talent.
But
You're
we're not
talking
here
about
to compare
AI,
Kobe's
you're talking about
career.
prime
That's not what
Chauncey
we're doing
Billups.
here.
You're talking about no. I'm saying, but the talent.
So this
gap
doesn't
between-
matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't, because this is not what we were doing. You're taking me on a walk. This is not what
I'm
we were
not taking
doing.
on a walk. I'm telling
You
you that
are.
Kobe Bryant and Jerry West are not comparable because of the
They are
talent
very
gap
much.
between
Why
their
aren't they
opponents
comparable?
too.
Why
They're
aren't
not
they comparable?
Maybe in like popularity you can say that, but as far as talent's concerned, I think Kobe Bryant would
In
dog
that
walk
era,
Jerry West.
talent-wise,
I think
who
he
was dribbling
would.
with their left hand in that era?
I
That's
honestly
why I
think so.
asked you if you were adjusting to inflation, talent for that era versus talent for that era.
But see, that's my original point, though, when you say that Wilt Chamberlain is a lesser player, because during his era, he was far from a lesser player. He was arguably the greatest player at his position, even though Bill Russell still
Arguably.
beat him. Arguably. He's still
Arguably.
arguably
Now, who was the best player at his position when Shaq played?
You mean when Shaq played?
It's not. It's not. It's because it's not arguable. It's not arguable.
But Shaq was amazing.
Because
Shaq
it's not
was
arguable.
amazing.
That's my point. You're saying that it's arguable that Wilt was, even though he would meet Bill and get dog walked. When I asked you who is the best player at the position, there's one answer and one answer only.
But you're talking about Shaq's era, though, right?
I asked you if we were adjusting to inflation.
So
I think y'all are both arguing two different points right now.
Yeah, like
We are,
thing that
because
I'm
I
saying
like my
is
point is
why
like everything I'm saying is
Wilt
going over his head, and I don't
diminished
care what
because
he's
he
saying
played
because
in
he's not
his
answering my
contract?
point.
Because if he's so diminished, we're talking about how many years after he's even played that we're having this conversation now about whether he was the greatest center of all time.
Well, we're not. 'Cause he's not.
That spanned way before Shaq. We're talking about after tons of players that came before Shaq and even there's players after Shaq. So saying that Wilt was trash because he played against plumbers.
I didn't say Wilt was trash. Those words didn't come out of my mouth.
That.
I didn't say Wilt was trash.
But
I said
like,
Wilt
no, I'm
take
saying,
Wilt out of
like,
the top 5.
But how is he
That's
like-
all I said. I didn't say he was
how is
dog
not
shit.
a center?
I didn't say he was
understand,
trash.
Like, he has the stats.
And if you want to say anything, actually, he got dog walked by 2 centers because when Kareem came in, Kareem started giving him buckets too.
So that's what I'm
He was
saying.
old
It's
at
like,
that
the
time.
argument isn't that Wilt is not a great player. The argument
That's
is
not
that
the
Wilt
argument.
was a top 5 center. I think he is.
You can think that way. I don't. That's the thing.
But I'm
I don't
giving you
have
the
to, and I have my
rationale as to
reasons
why he
for
is.
it. You all can have your reasons as for why. I have my reasons for why not.
You hate it.
I'm responding to he's not good because he played against 5'10" people.
I didn't say he wasn't good. That's the thing.
Like,
I did not say he
he's not a
wasn't
top
good.
5 center because he's played against 5'10" people. 5'10" people.
Yeah, he's
Now
not
we have
top
to go
5
back
because of
into
the era that he
future.
played
Wilt had
in.
to jump in the DeLorean to go into the future to play against guys who are taller enough for him. Basically, that's what we're saying.
It's
Will-
20.
when Wilt
That's why Wilt doesn't
They
live
don't
in
make
the top 5,
DeLoreans no more, so we have to find another car.
when
right?
when he finally met people his size, he got his ass whooped. So it's like what? So he's just a bully.
One man.
So
That's
it's just
what
so he's a
Shaq
bully.
bullied people too.
So he's a bully.
Shaq bullied
He beats
people
up on
too.
smaller people and then like gets all his giggles. Shaq did it against everybody, big, small. It didn't matter. Wilt met a guy and got punched in the face a lot.
I mean, listen, he played against the talent that was there when he played.
Who stopped Shaq? Nobody. Who stopped Wilt?
Dennis Rodman.
Bill Russell.
Dennis
We
Rodman.
move. We move.
And the stat that I was trying to insert before y'all went on that walk was that Shaq and David Robinson have played 2 times in a playoff series. David Robinson is 2-0.
I know that. I know that Admiral beat Shaq.
I also
was
know
my
that,
point.
but I would love to
He's
see the
not
stats
a
because
good-
I guarantee you Shaq got his. He didn't get stopped.
But see, that was the question I asked afterwards. Was are you saying that like because he scored points against like the Admiral? Like,
Shaq
what's the
got
game
off.
talking
That's
about?
the thing. Shaq's points per
Pause.
game didn't diminish the way that Wilt's did when he met Bill. When you lose almost 20 points a game in a matchup, That's crazy.
I mean, that just talks to how great Bill Russell is. That doesn't mean that.
That's crazy. So even though David Robinson beat Shaq in a 5-on-5 team against Spurs Lakers, I guarantee you Shaq still had his season averages.
I guarantee you, Tim Duncan was David Robinson's teammate in those playoff victories.
Yeah, Tim Duncan was doing work.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, that's the talent that he had around him too.
Yeah, so it's like, if we're just gonna do it 1-on-1, sure, he won the game, but Shaq still got his and wasn't stopped.
I mean,
I don't have the specific numbers for that specific series, but the Lakers and the Spurs met in the second round in '99. The Spurs swept the Lakers. Shaq's average for the playoffs that year was 26, 11, and 2, and 3 blocks. When they lost in 2003, Shaq's numbers was 27, 15, and 3 with 3 blocks.
Yes,
so
correct.
Shaq was getting his numbers.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
He didn't hit a wall and just lose production.
It's just that Kobe couldn't carry his end of the stick. Never mind. Moving on.
Wow.
You're gonna give Roz a stroke. Roz is gonna have a stroke.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, there's only one other guy that they decided
The
to
Mamba
actually
disrespect
as the logo. I mean,
The Mamba disrespect.
I'm leaving
Was
here.
it because? Let me stop. I almost got real disrespectful. Let me stop.
Amongst the players, there was talk about who should be replaced as the logo, and there was only one man that came up.
And when was that poll
Kobe.
taken? And when was that poll
beating
taken?
Bryant.
When was that poll taken?
No, answer the
Kobe
question.
Bryant.
When was that poll taken?
That's an irrelevant question.
No, it's a very relevant question. It's a very relevant
it's
question.
not-
Because is it because of his actual performance or because he died?
I mean,
What?
because of his performance and the fact that he.
Because his performance.
There we go. Squeeze that last part in. Because if he didn't pass away, that conversation would have happened.
Because why did
That's not true, Dylan.
before?
That's not true, Dylan.
It's very much so true.
We're talking about.
They were saying it before he died,
No,
Dylan.
they
there was
weren't.
absolute-
No, they
I think
Yes, they
weren't.
were. Yes, they were.
I think there were rumblings about people asking, saying that Jerry West
should be
logo had
Jordan.
been outdated.
It was going to be Jordan.
No. I wasn't
No,
hearing.
there
that.
was rumblings
hearing
about Kobe.
I was hearing Kobe, but it wasn't league wide, and it got amplified when he died.
Yes. So that's why it's like
I don't know
it only-
what y'all were listening to. There's no.
I
There's
remember
no
seeing
way.
NBA TV programs about this, and they had like the Dirk fadeaway, and then they were all like, "It's going to end up being Jordan if they were to do it." And the only
When
reason
Kobe-
Kobe's name even got brought up is because he passed away.
Because he
So we're
passed.
not gonna sit here and
We're not
say,
gonna-
"Oh,
exactly. We're not
Kobe's
gonna
gonna be
sit
the
here and
logo
act
because of his
like-
performance." Blah 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 blah. It's because he died.
Like, let's not sit here and
Okay.
act like everybody wasn't fan. Like it was Jordan, like it always is. And then unfortunately, Kobe passed, and everyone's in their feelings. You know what? I grew up on Kobe. I think it should be Kobe. That's what happened. That's where all of this came from. Let's not act like it was just Kobe while he was alive, because that's not true.
I didn't say
It's
that. I
not-
said that. I've
Okay.
heard
No,
it
we're not saying
before
you
about
are. We're not
Kobe.
saying you are.
So let me be
Stand.
honest with you. If you really want to use zeitgeist moments as to why someone should be the logo or not, I think you should really look into why Jerry West actually became the logo, because he had no reason to be the logo outside of
I also
someone
agree.
randomly thinking.
I agree.
Remember the time period. So let's not talk about whether Kobe dying as a zeitgeist moment in history is the reason why everyone was wanting him to be the logo. Think about why Jerry West actually ended up being the logo of
That's it.
all
That's
the
it.
great
You're not
players
going to get an
that
argument
we
out of me on
Exactly.
that,
No
because I
No one
agree.
wants to talk about that. So if you're going to talk about Kobe Bryant because
But
he died and
I
that's
will
everybody wants to be the
absolutely,
logo.
Roz. I
Think
will.
about, think about when Jerry West became the logo and why Jerry West became the logo. And if
I
you know
understand, but
both of
now
those
since
answers,
he is the logo,
you know the answer. If you know both of those answers to those questions, then you would be
It was
remiss.
kind of.
to
It was
talk
like
about
a
the fact that Kobe
participation
Bryant
award
lost.
when they gave him that.
yeah, Roz.
Thank
Nobody's
you.
arguing that Jerry West shouldn't be the logo, right?
Nobody
It's the
said
thing
that.
is, he is the logo, and the
I'm
only
just
reason
saying,
the
like-
conversation was brought up for Kobe to be the logo was because he passed away,
But I'm just telling you, like it's like
not because of
it
everything
sounded
else.
like he didn't deserve to be the logo. Almost.
No
Like,
one said
almost.
that.
That's
No
what it sounded
one-
like. Like, oh, the only reason why he's going
Kind
to
of
think about
did
being the
for a
logo.
second, Mike.
It
No,
did.
it
That's
kind of
exactly
did.
what I was saying.
sounded like that.
No, it
Sounded
did kind of.
like-
It kind of did though.
But
Like, You can't
because
justify Jerry West being the logo
nobody
again.
wanted Kobe to be the logo over Jordan before he passed away, and y'all all know that. So I don't know why y'all are doing this.
I
Y'all
don't
know
know
that.
about that, yo.
Y'all know.
When Kobe retired, yo, I'm being honest with you. I'm a Jordan fan. I'm a Kobe fan, and I'm also a realist when it comes to stuff. I try not to get into my fandoms, and we all know that I'm not the biggest fan of Lakers like that. When Kobe was here, I'm not gonna lie, I have heard multiple times about Kobe should be the logo when he retired, not when he passed away.
And what would it have been?
Hmm?
What would it have been?
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
what was the logo look?
What would the logo be?
His
It would have been
fadeaway
his
jumper.
Jordan fadeaway.
I mean, they would have crossed that bridge once they would have actually
It's such an
tried to go
idiot.
through it.
That would have been
I mean, when they asked what the logo was going to be with Jerry West, this guy just looked at a bunch of pictures and said, "I like that picture of Jerry
Yeah,
West."
they made it happen.
So
There
what
was
would
tons of pictures of Jerry
the
West. He
logo
said,
be
"I
if it
like
was
that
Jordan?
picture."
What would
Huh?
the logo be? What if it was Jordan?
If it was Jordan, it would be the Jordan
Probably
The
sign.
Jumpman. You know what it would be. That's the point. You
So
know
we're saying
what
that
it would
Kobe Bryant
be.
doesn't have an
So don't
iconic
tell.
picture like the
No,
Jumpman?
he does not. He does not.
No, Kobe
So, like, what are we doing? You don't know what the logo would have
But
been.
that's
So it
apples to
doesn't
oranges. You're
exist.
just saying like, what would the
It
logo be
doesn't
versus him
exist.
actually people wanting him to be the logo.
So when you ask that question, Mike,
Find a
like, oh,
graphic
what would
designer.
Kobe's logo be?
you would
And
find something.
everybody
It's
in
not gonna
here
be that
say,
hard.
Yeah.
and everybody in here say the fadeaway.
I'm
Even Dylan saying, oh, the Jordan fadeaway.
I'm,
Everybody knows it's still the fadeaway. So what's the difference
I'm
from you saying
asking
the Jumpman
what?
being the
No,
iconic
because
and
I
us saying the
said
fadeaway? What's the difference?
what would the logo have been? Since there was this outcry for him to be the logo, what would it have been? No one knows what it would have been because Kobe doesn't have an iconic logo that would have been the NBA logo. He
So
doesn't
let me
have
ask you,
one.
But Mike, that's a silly
Mike,
thing to say
that's
because the
a
logo is
shitty
literally
thing to
Jerry
say.
West dribbling.
dribbling.
But
Yeah, come on. That's not a
but
strong argument.
no, it's not
The
because the
Then what?
argument.
most iconic thing
it's
Jerry
not.
West has
I'm
done is
I'm going
dribble.
to tell you why it's not.
It's
I'm going to tell you why it's not because, like I said, if it would have been Jordan, which we all have heard, it would have been the Jumpman because
All right, watch
that is
this.
something to actually replace it with.
Watch this. Watch
Just
this.
talking
So,
and saying
watch this.
it should be Kobe with nothing to replace it. No one was saying that.
Hey, Mike. Didn't you say they said it was gonna either be Michael or Dirk? What's Dirk's?
I didn't say Dirk.
No, that was me.
That was
I
Dirk
heard
there.
that was me.
No, I
So
did not.
what's
No, I did not. Nope.
That was
Try-
me. That was me.
Try again. It was not me.
That was me because I was watching NBA TV and I said they made a bunch of like logos. They had the Dirk fadeaway with the one leg. They had the jump man and all that stuff. I remember that.
The
It
Dirk.
was all
This
Dirk.
originally
Try
started.
it again.
You know what Dirk's logo would be?
Yeah, it'd be the one. It'll be. I don't think the argument for what the logo would be is even like important because they'd figure it out. It would just be Kobe dribbling.
Yeah, it could be.
That's what it'd be. It would just be Kobe dribbling.
To find an iconic shot, and they would have done that. You know, like it's just not that. It's really not that difficult to find a Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's neither here or there. It's just the idea that it's like, oh, they wanted him. Yeah, but why?
I wanted to be Kobe. Oh, what would it have been? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I just wanted to be Kobe. Who was saying
that's
that?
what the player said.
Who was saying this?
The player said that.
But why were the players saying that?
Before he passed? Before he passed.
No, I didn't think they talked about it before he passed. But I didn't.
In the heat of the
discredit you guys
moment
when
when
you said
you're
that.
just trying to pay homage,
But
like that shit happens. But
yeah, I didn't discredit that. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like let's not just get caught up in Jerry West is the logo. I'm like, obviously the logo is an ephemeral thing that can change depending on what happens in the NBA because they're already talking about taking Jerry West off the logo, right? Him being the logo is just clout. But if we talk about actually Kobe Bryant versus Jerry West as a player, no offense to Jerry West, I think Kobe Bryant is the better basketball player.
That's fine. That was never
I don't think they even
the argument.
compare.
That was never the argument.
Actually. I don't
that's why I don't understand what's happening here. Roz is taking us for a walk.
I'm not taking for a walk.
This was never discussed.
Listen, I didn't do the Kobe Bryant comparison. First of all, to start off, I didn't do it. I responded to it. And I only brought that up because of the talent around Wilt versus and what he played and Bill
Okay.
Russell.
All right.
versus
All right.
Hey,
And
here we
that
go.
was
We're
the
going,
problem.
we're going back.
We're going back on a walk. We're not going back on a walk.
Yeah.
Warriors, Celtics. Another man that I guess should be the logo. Steph Boogie.
That game
doing
was insane.
Steph Boogie things as he decided in the second half to just go off on the Celtics, and it looked a lot like the finals all over.
Let me tell you something. It wasn't just the second half because he got caught for his 5th foul with like 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
You're
So
right.
he didn't play again until the 4th quarter.
He's not a top 5 player either.
He's not.
I don't think he is, but he's definitely in that top 10.
Is he
Or
top
right
10?
outside.
He is for me.
Or right
He's
outside.
right outside. He's right outside.
He can
But
move
no.
up in there.
He went out there and he hit in 4th quarter and overtime, I think 5 threes in that period.
Went in fuego.
Went nuclear. And was just fucking those dudes up because
Nobody's
Clay
talking
had a
about
good game
Clay's
too.
performance. I was about to say nobody's talking about Clay's performance.
Clay
played a big
started
part.
off early. Clay had
He needed
13
that.
in the first
He
half.
needed that. He needed that.
No, he had 15 in the first half.
He's
He
had a
needed
good
that
string of
desperately.
a couple games, but
Yeah.
he's still, I don't know what's up.
The Spurs,
He's a-
not the Spurs. I think the Warriors are kind of figuring something out with this new rotation, with bringing Andrew Wiggins off the
Kuminga.
bench with Chris Paul and Kuminga getting buckets in that white boy who looks like Nico Mannion balling out too.
I just called him Pod.
He was balling. That kid is hustle, and then he
from
can shoot.
Indiana.
I don't remember his name.
Oh, the
But
big,
white boy with the curly hair.
That's called Pod. Yep.
the big.
He also got injured too.
No,
the
the
guard.
guard.
No.
Because the big that played made some awesome plays too, trying to get in
From
there on that
Indiana.
rotation after Looney. Balled. He made a couple. He
I
stopped
remember
Jalen
from
Brown at the
Indiana.
rim.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brown tried to baptize him, and he said, "No, thank you, sir."
Nope. Nah, get that out of here. Get that
Packed
out
him
of
the
here.
fuck up real quick. But that was a hell of a game. Fuck Jason Tatum. He ruined my parlay. He got
It's
hurt the
such
first quarter. I'm pissed.
Because
Went
the
to
Warriors
overtime.
can't keep doing that, man. It's unsustainable, and they're just having a miserable year right now with everything.
With Draymond's attacking everyone.
Yeah, they've been taking the retooling approach for a while now, and instead of just doing a rebuild. And I get it. I think they need to do I guess they need to they really need to overhaul. I think their
You
team.
want to still retool as long as you got Steph still in the last bits of his prime.
But Clay's a trade candidate after this year because he seems like he fell off a cliff.
Trey's a
You know,
trade
that's-
candidate right
that's
now.
rough.
I recently put that in the chat. I said that
Rough.
there's a lot of mock-up trade ideas, right? But what they're failing to do because of the respect they have for these players is not include Clay and Draymond, and they need to include them in the trade mock-ups. That's the only way they're gonna get better. Like you can't continue to build around that trio anymore. You have to get rid of 2 of those guys.
As
They
much as
have
you want to
to.
keep those guys
Okay.
warriors for their career, the NBA isn't that anymore.
Mhm.
The NBA is not the 80s and 90s anymore, where it's like, hey, we keep a guy, we keep him for his career, and you keep it moving. You think about the organization before you think about the player. It's what's best for the organization. If it's moving on from Clay and Draymond, then it's moving on from Clay and Draymond. The only person who you really can't let go is Steph.
No,
That's
yeah.
the only untouchable one, and that's been your franchise. That's the face of your franchise is Steph. You have to get rid of if he's the only one still producing at that high level. Anybody who's running that organization has to sit there and be like, okay, we're gonna piss off Steph. So what are we gonna do?
Yeah, tons of money tied up in
There's
those
no way
hands,
around
too.
it.
It's gonna be tough.
And I think I said it last week. I was like, when I like right now, it's looking good for them because you get a really big win on one of the best teams in basketball. But when does Steph go into that front office and be like, so what's up? Like,
Well,
when are we gonna
if
do
Cl-
something?
If Clay picks it up again, he might not. He might ride out with his guy.
And
I still think they
Draymond,
should trade him.
they're saying Draymond is going to be out for at least a couple weeks.
He'll be out for the rest of the calendar year. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back start of the new year. I think that's
So
what
I
They say
think
he's
They said
started
like 3
therapy,
weeks.
something like that.
They said like around 3 weeks.
I'm
That's the
thinking it's
treatment.
going to be right around what I said, where I was like, they're gonna when he's ready to come back, they're going to say, "Oh, we're issuing Clay a 25-game suspension. He's already served 18 to 20. He's just got to miss these next handful of games, and then he's able to come back."
Yeah, it's,
I'm gonna probably be on a hill by myself on this one. I was having a conversation over the summer with some of the guys I played basketball with, and they were saying when it comes down to it, who do you get rid of? This is when Jordan Poole was on the team. Who do you get rid of, Clay or Jordan Poole? And although this is hindsight now, we are seeing how Jordan Poole is playing as the main guy. I don't think he's well in that position. But when they were on the team, I was saying that you get rid of Clay and you keep Jordan Poole because I think Jordan Poole plays well when mentored by Steph. Now,
Grown up
although
two in a row.
how it's not working right now with him being the main guy, I think with him being with Steph, he played very, very well. Even though he played, what is it, erratic or he's
yeah, he
always
has some
hot or
stuff.
whatever Dylan B will say and stuff like that. But him being on
Irrational
the team, it worked.
confidence.
Yeah, it worked.
I'd have irrational confidence too if I was playing with two of the greatest shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were too hard on him for him, making that mistake. That cost him, but I don't think you give up a talent that's actually functioning in your offense, becoming one of the best young scorers in the league in your offense, just because he made a bonehead play. And then Draymond has literally had a whole run of just like doing like the worst, like dirty player right now is synonymous with Draymond Green.
The problem
And
is
to re
Jordan
up on him
Poole
is
did it
crazy.
to himself because he was unplayable on both sides of the ball in the
Yeah.
playoffs. That's the problem.
Last year compared to the year before, when you have that one game where freaking Steph and then Jordan Poole comes off the bench and drops 30 while Steph is freaking getting hot. And then last year in the playoffs, he was like really bad on both sides of the ball, wasn't playing defense.
It's one thing if you're going to get 30 from him and he's not going to play defense. It's the other thing if he's going 1 for 9 and then also isn't playing defense and turning over the ball. He literally couldn't play. But that goes back to this what seems now like this legendary conversation that we had last year on in the group chat where me, Roz, and James talking like, "What do you do?" And I presented to Roz. I was like, "You have to explore trading Clay." I was like, "You have to get rid of Poole, but you also have to explore trading Clay." It's the only way anything's ever going to get done because Clay can't be that top tier two-way player anymore, and he's struggling to get that shot going. It hasn't been what it is. Again, recently he's been figuring it out, and if that can stay on, then he can probably buy himself a year, the rest of this year. But like once you go into the offseason, you have to be like, all right, Mr. Clay, where would you like to go? And let's see if we can get you something good to get you where you want to go, treat you right, and we get something good in return.
And Steph is going to lose his mind.
That's a conversation Steph's going to have to be a part of.
And scream,
man.
Listen,
That's
the
gonna be
only
a tough one.
reason they traded Poole is because they picked Draymond over Jordan Poole.
Correct.
That's what happened because in no rational world would Draymond do that and stay on the team.
No,
You would get rid of Draymond.
Draymond's just on the team because of legacy.
Jordan Poole was terrible in the playoffs last season.
You just have to take the lesser of two evils, which is like, do you take the guy who beats people up and still help Steph, or do you take the guy who's just bad?
But when Draymond punched him, they were coming off the championship. So
Yeah, it was off season. It was practice.
He didn't have the bad playoff yet. So that's why I'm saying in no rational world would that have happened and Draymond not get kicked off the team, except for the fact that Draymond is Steph's guy.
Like,
because if you think of another situation, I tie it back to the Bobby Porter situation in Chicago. He was better.
Oh, with Mirza Teletovic.
He was better than Mirza Teletovic. Punched him in the face, and he got released.
And he got the boot.
Yep.
And he got
broke that dog's jaw.
That's right. And you see it all play out, man. You see it all play out, and it's very obvious.
He got cut and then sent Teletovic to fucking Spain. He said, "Get out of here."
They actually got,
and then he won a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the weird part is when that time comes, is Steph, I don't know if Steph's going to be like, listen, man, like,
It depends on who they get.
I don't know, man.
That's
You-
the
really
the,
depends on
part,
who
the
they
hard
get.
part.
I don't
you
know, man.
play right now, see what you can get. Because if you wait too long, you're not going to get.
His
You're not
value is
gonna
at
get
all-time
much.
high right
You're
now.
not going to get much, and Steph is not going to let them trade him like until the end of the year. So I just think, I don't know, man. They'd have to
It
be
happens,
completely
bro.
out of the playoffs a long way out before that would happen. Like, I think if they're even remotely close, I think Steph is like, you guys better not touch this roster. Like,
It's
what I'm
hard.
saying?
They had a run. You gotta do something new. Guys get older. Players decline. What is it? You got Steph still playing lights out.
It happens,
This is
man.
the adage right now: the 1 year earlier rather than 1 year late. And the Warriors are stuck in their own sentimentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just pulling the trigger like they
Yeah, I
should.
mean, because if you think about
Change
it, these scenarios don't typically happen this way. That's why, because you think about the other duels or other legendary teams, right? Like you think about the Bulls with Jordan and Pippen. The only reason they split up is because Jordan had retired and Pippen he had eventually got traded. The situation with Jack and Kobe, they had a falling out. They traded Shaq to the Miami Heat. That was the only reason why that situation happened. If they hadn't had a falling out, I don't think that trade happens. So this is one of the only scenarios you'll see like this where these legendary teammates or one of them of a legendary duo or teammates is just out of their prime, and it's not really his fault. It's just due to injury. It happens. It's a weird scenario, man, but it has to be done.
Has to be. Has to be. You know. Or I think either Steph's going or Stephers won't win one for a long time if they don't make moves very soon.
Well, there's no long time. It's great as Steph looks. The clock is ticking.
Yeah. He's gonna have to leave, which is gonna be crazy.
That's why I called their last title the last hurrah for a reason.
It's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be a crazy scene.
What you say Steph's leaving?
Yeah, to
No.
see that is gonna be nuts, man.
To see him in that Hornets jersey is going to be crazy.
Nah, he's not. Nah.
Go home.
Not.
Put on that 30 like his daddy.
He's from Ohio. He ain't from Charlotte.
He was born in Ohio.
You gotta go back to Cleveland.
Ew. Ew. The idea of Steph anywhere besides Golden State is
Crazy.
gross.
But moving on, Ja Morant is back. Did you hear?
There's a parade inside my city. Yeah.
There's a parade in Memphis after his return. Ja came back. Shout out to Dylan, the hottest gambler alive. Said he was going to get 30 plus. And I must admit, it was looking shaky for.
I was horrified.
It was looking shaky for
Fun
a little
fact,
bit.
I bet his stat line. I bet 30, 7, and 6. He got me like 33, 7, and 8.
34. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
34, 7, and 8. And I was like, hottest gamer alive.
You got a problem, Dylan. You got a problem.
Came out. I told James because we were talking. He asked me how Ja was doing, and I told him in the first half. I was like, Ja looks rusty. He looks like he can't catch.
He was
the
missing a
rhythm
lot of
yet.
shots at the rim, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be the worst bet I've ever
It's
placed."
adrenaline. It's a lot of things that are going through him and everything. So
Guys start chirping on the court,
And they were down like 20 going into halftime.
That's what I said. I think what happened is guys started getting a little chirpy, and it fired Ja up. And once Ja got going, that was the end of that.
That was it.
He went off. For some reason, they just kept leaving Herb Jones out on that island, and That is not an island you want to be on.
Yep.
And game ends with Ja hitting a game-winning floater at the buzzer, 0-0 on the clock, and screaming as he goes into the locker room, "I kept the receipts."
Mm-hmm.
And then when asked in the post-game interview, like, what led up to that shot? Or what were you thinking of the shot? I'm a dog. I'm a dog.
My favorite is call 12.
Call 12,
what,
yeah.
What was the play? What was the thought of that? It was call 12.
Call
Call
12.
12 is funny,
I'm
man.
a dog. I'm a
Call 12
dog.
is funny.
I was walking around my house like cutting up boxes from Christmas presents. I was like, I'm a dog.
No.
Janice is just like, shut the fuck up.
My question is, do you guys see them I'm sorry, Mike. Do you see I know it's early in the season. Do you see them making a huge push and making a playoff run?
Remember my prediction?
That was my exact question. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Dude, look at that.
You remember my prediction?
They are 7-19. They are right
They're
now
only 3 games out from being the worst team in the West.
Do you remember my prediction? Do you remember my
they're
early
6.5 out of the play-in.
What's that?
What I said about the Grizzlies?
That they weren't going to make the play-in.
Correct.
Roz said the Grizzlies miss playoffs.
Correct.
So I know that there's some semantics in there, but
play-in does not count as playoffs, correct?
It does not.
It does not. Thank you.
They need to have some grown-ups on their fucking team.
Playing is to have the opportunity to get into the playoffs.
That's so, Steven, that point is something James and I have been screaming from the mountaintops for the last podcast. And it's something that was literally mentioned today when talking about Anthony Edwards, about how there's no vets anymore. They don't employ 30-year-olds to babysit anymore.
The Knicks just
the
got
vets
one.
on these
We
teams
just
now are
signed
like
Taj
25
Gibson.
years old. Taj Gibson. I love Taj Gibson. And guess what? He's only there to play a couple minutes a game because Mitch Robinson's probably out for the rest of the year. And
to not out for the rest
they
of
just
the
they
year.
just
for the rest of the year.
They just took the injury exception for the rest of the year to clear up the cap space, so he's done. Sorry to break that news to you guys right now.
I saw it, the DPE.
Yeah,
but
so he's
they've
done.
requested for it.
So we'll see. If they get it, then he's done. But anyway,
why wouldn't you want to be prepared, right?
No, I'm not saying again. And anyway, Taj Gibson's on that team to be the dad, be the team dad. That's it. They don't have that anymore. The oldest person on these teams is 26 years old. They're gonna out there do the fuckboy shit with you. Like, what are we doing here? Like in Minnesota, the vet is Mike Conley. You know, Anthony Edwards is like, whatever, old head, and just keeps it pushing. Because Mike Conley's not just this loud, boisterous person. He sits there like, hey, I don't think you should be doing that. They go, whatever. I'm just gonna eat my hot chip and keep it going.
I'll cook you in, Jordan.
Yep. Like, there's no vets. Like that Houston Rockets team over the last 3 years.
Oh my god.
The oldest person on the team was like 22 years old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This Hornets team, Gordon Hayward's the vet, and he hates it there. He absolutely hates it there.
I would hate it if I was on that team too.
Because it's just children.
Chase the bag.
It's just children. He's just sitting there. He's like, I gotta fucking be here. Nobody wants it. The Jared Dudleys of the world. Those guys can't be employed anymore.
I mean, there's a few guys. There's a few guys that are like around.
Miami went from having that guy on their roster to now be part of their staff with Udonis Haslem, which I think is a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful thing to keep him on the staff. Don't let him go nowhere else. Keep him on payroll. Keep him home. The players respect him.
They still
have Jimmy.
Guys. Jimmy and Kyle Lowry and Kevin Love. They still got some vets on there.
They got guys.
You still got to have them, but there's a lot of teams that don't. There's a lot of teams that just fucking don't.
Steven Adams is still there, though.
Steven Adams, the problem is Steven Adams is not there.
He's injured, though, so I mean,
he's not there.
He's not there.
When he was there, he was trying to be the adult, but all the other kids, Dylan Brooks and John, all those guys were sitting there just like,
freaking, come on with me. Like, no, I don't think we should do that.
That's my joke. But
Steven Adams is a great vet. He just is not in the locker room because he's hurt.
Don't they got Derrick Rose?
They do.
Where's he been?
And now we will
That was
see
the
how
reason
this
why he
Derrick-
got hired, and he tried to say, "I'm not here to babysit." Remember his press conference?
Yeah, but they got Marcus Smart too. So Marcus Smart is a guy that can be that.
Yes, that's what said. Marcus Smart is hurt right now, but
But again, so no
Marcus-
adults are still in Memphis. What's happening?
You know what's happening? They ain't making the playoffs.
What?
so let me set it
That's
up.
what's
So,
happening.
right now, Memphis is behind Utah and Golden State, and they have to catch Phoenix or Houston, who have basically the same record.
That's surprising.
It's not.
So,
Bradley
What's
Beal-
Phoenix record?
early?
Bradley Beal
Phoenix is
14,
Phoenix can't
13.
play. Phoenix does. Their players just don't play basketball. This is the
Yeah,
thing that I said when this happened. I was like, you have 3 guys who barely play basketball. Devin Booker's missed a bunch of games. Bradley Beal got hurt immediately.
Yeah, Kevin Durant, he's on the
Immediately.
game.
Durant's been the healthy one.
Yeah, Durant's only missed 2 games this season.
So it's just like, all right, and then you have
the Bradley
kicking-
Beal though. I mean,
That's a-
he rolled his
it's-
ankle. That's basketball.
accident.
Like
That's
that's not like
basketball.
No,
that's
his
after
back.
already
He had the
missing.
back injury.
he had the
No,
back,
well,
but when
he
he
came
came
back,
back,
He rolled his ankle.
Yeah, of
He
course.
landed
yeah,
on
right.
what you call its foot.
Yeah, that's
And
already
rolled it
after
back.
missing 20-something games.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
just bad luck. That's
It's just
bad luck.
like, damn. And then Nurkic is a ticking time bomb. He
Stop
could
putting
explode
that
at any
on,
minute.
because he's been playing well,
It's
Dylan.
not like knock on wood. I don't want nobody to get hurt, but like these are the things we know.
Even the
He's playing
reserves,
very
even the
well.
reserve guys are like, who are surprising or getting.
And that young lady Bol still can't see the court.
Allen,
Cannot.
Jason Allen's been decent. He got injured. Eric Gordon got injured for a little bit. Guys that were surprisingly decent.
And with
They're
some
getting injured.
put themselves in that situation with those
True.
contracts under the new apron of the CBA.
They're
Some
screwed.
get hurt,
They're
they're
done.
screwed.
They're
They're
screwed.
done.
They can't participate in the buyout market. They can't
No.
trade future first. They're done.
Yeah, they're in bad shape. They're in bad shape. I thought it was their defense that would be a huge problem, but I did not expect the guys to not show up. That's like worst case scenario. Like guys aren't even on the court together.
They don't show up, and then a lot of the guys, you need someone who's gonna like. I think Devin Booker's been doing a great job when he's played
Yes.
to facilitate, but he
Yeah.
is still not like a natural facilitator in getting these guys their shots. That's not
No.
him.
That's not
And
him.
I think it's great for his game to develop into that and to become what he's become on that side of the ball. But that's a bucket getter. That's what that guy is.
They did not need the trade campaign, yo.
Even like campaign is
Well,
not like great or
I
really
would say
good,
he's
but
guard.
he's a
kind of
point
washed,
guard.
though.
But
Yeah,
he is a
kinda
point
washed.
guard.
They traded
And-
him for no reason. Like they didn't even need to trade him when he got rid.
And they could have gotten him back when he got cut
Yeah,
immediately.
He wanted to come back.
And they didn't want him to.
They didn't want him to.
Because he's washed.
'Cause You can't be, it's not you can't be washed if you were never that good.
But he
And
played
he's washed
really
from
well.
that.
He played really well the year when they went to the finals.
Yes, and I think he's definitely worthy enough to be a backup point guard to Devin Booker on
Like,
a team
come
that
on.
doesn't
They have
have point
Ish
guards.
Smith.
Like,
They got Ish Smith.
Yeah, Ish Smith is that much better than Campaign?
No, he's not better than Cam.
No,
Maybe.
stop. Ish
He
Smith has
said
played on
maybe.
29 teams. Stop it,
He
Mike.
said maybe.
And he's played with the Wizards 5 times.
Mike over there whispering maybe is crazy.
If you do the NBA squares that I do, try to match up team, Ish Smith is always an answer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's always an answer.
But you know what's a surprising team though? They're finally gelling, man. Those Clippers, those
Yes,
Los
sir.
Angeles Clippers look
It's
absolutely
been
terrible.
real
They look
crickets
terrible.
from that left block up there from Mike. It's been crickets ever since they started winning.
Terrifying.
Yeah, that's how Mike
Terrible.
goes, though. You
Yeah,
got 2 of Mike's
terrible.
most hated players on one team. He's just
crickets.
look
He is
terrifying.
so pissed that they winning right now. Pissed.
Mike
don't.
punches air after every Clipper game.
I don't because
They look
just
terrifying.
like the Cowboys, it's Groundhog Day. Just
Mhm.
give it time. You'll see
That's what
Are
you're
you
happens.
hoping
wishing
for
on? Are
because
you
you hate
wishing on
that
the
team
injury
so
strike? Are
much.
you wishing for
No,
one of them to be injured? So to be like,
no, we're gonna
He's
get to the
wishing for. He's
playoffs,
wishing that they're
and
gonna lose.
no, they were gonna get to the playoffs, and then they're all gonna choke because they're all choke artists.
Choke, they all got
After
hurt.
they all got hurt.
The problem is when they get to the playoffs, are their players going to be playing in the playoffs?
Not because they choke. Remember,
No,
Mike Steven,
Lennon's
so
knee is going to go out again.
What is
let me give
James
you a
Harden?
background really quick.
What is James Harden?
James Harden is the only player on this team who's a choke artist.
Paul George?
Paul George plays well in the playoffs. He has that one series he didn't play well, but he usually plays well in the playoffs.
Mike's
We have
gonna
a
hold on
whole
to
like
it forever because he loves the name Pandemic P. So that's the only reason
we
why
have
he's
a
gonna hold on.
whole like 7-year stretch where Paul George was
He
awesome.
did
So
deserve
in
the
the playoffs,
pandemic
so
P though,
stop.
but he's not pandemic P no more.
Exactly. Well, Mike
And then
holds
when-
on to it because
And then when
if Mike has
Kawhi went
if
out
he has
like
a
2
bad
years
performance,
ago,
hold on to it.
when Kawhi went out 2 years ago, Paul George was awesome in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So like
I argued the last time Kawhi got injured, I thought they were going to just go all the way.
they were
He
going to
was
beat the
fall-
Suns.
he
They were
was
going to beat the Suns.
He was cooking them. Like,
It's
and he
either
got injured.
it's
And I
either
was
they
like,
have Paul George or and no Kawhi, or Kawhi and no Paul George.
And
Because-
Kawhi with no Paul George in Phoenix last year before he got hurt was the best player on that court.
correct. He was cooking them.
Getting James
Cooking
Harden.
them.
You'll get James
Mike,
Harden for a game 4, but you won't get him in a game 7.
you'll get James Harden in game 2 and game 4. That's it.
That's it.
I
That's
don't
all
know. I don't
you
know,
don't let
Dylan.
that series
I
go
don't
long.
know, Dylan.
Don't let that
He's
series
looking
go
real
long.
good. He's looking real good.
He's
with
looking
them
no, James
boys.
Harden you're falling for the James Harden trap.
Game 3.
Every year.
I
Every
pointed out
year.
last year every single time. James Harden is going to show up every other game. You may get 3, but you're probably going to get 2. And in the first round, it was a sweep, so we really only got one good Harden game, and then everything else he was like, all right. In that second series, it was he gave you 8 points the first game, and then he gave you 40, and then he gave you like 10, and then he gave you 40 again.
Then he hit a game winner, and then didn't seem no.
And
The
then
game
that
winner was game
Celtics series,
5.
he only showed up for 2 games.
Yeah. Game 2, game 4, then that was it.
That's
The
it.
prophecy is almost fulfilled, man. Your man, Boardman hasn't missed a game.
Has
James
not.
Roz is on that
So-
prediction. He said he was going to play 60 plus. Roz is
He also said
trending
he was going to win
great.
MVP, right?
I
I
mean, I
That one's gone. Once they got Harden, that one's gone.
Kawhi MVP. No,
Yeah,
I think Kawhi can still win it.
I don't think
Kawhi's doing pretty good, man.
I love
That's
Kawhi, but I don't-
availability.
But the
I don't
way
think he's gonna have the
Joel
numbers to
Embiid
win
is
it.
playing right now, I don't think he can.
Well,
do it.
it's like a 4-man race. It's Joel Embiid, it's Luka Doncic, it's Shai, and it's Tyrese Halliburton.
Mhm.
That's your 4-man race for MVP right there.
Yeah,
And you can even put Anthony Edwards in there as your 5th.
yeah. Agreed on that too. That's my top 5.
That's the 5.
But you gotta be
And
careful.
then you have
Nikola
Jason
Jokic is
Tatum
not there.
outside looking in.
Not right
Who?
now.
What about Jokic?
Like, they're still winning, but he has to take a step back in stats.
He's taking him out. He's had too many games under 20 points
This
this year.
where
Where they're winning regardless.
Yeah, they've hit that point where they're just kind of coasting, not really.
It's that
playing hard,
Warriors in like 2018.
and they're still just winning because
Yeah,
they're
still
just
winning.
that
He's not
good.
even doing much.
Who are you talking about?
Playoffs.
The Nuggets.
Yeah.
The Nuggets aren't
the
even
Nuggets
trying
are-
right now.
Yeah.
The Nuggets aren't even trying, and they're just beating people.
Because,
Like once we get
Jamal
to the playoffs, Jokic is gonna be like, "Oh wait,
Jokic
I'm the
will
best
be
player on the
starting-
planet."
Yeah, he'll start doing those crazy 35, 17, and 12 games again.
hitting threes, make Anthony Davis going googly eyes on him.
And a couple of them shots he hit on Anthony Davis in the conference finals last year.
Can't do nothing about that.
But the thing,
There's nothing you can do. Like,
One at the buzzer.
reason
One at
why-
the buzzer. I was like, can't do nothing.
on
about
one leg, the one on the buzzer on one
Yeah.
leg. Like, what else? Like, all right, you got it, bro. You just got it. Like, whatever.
But-
Go whatever. Shit.
but like I said, the best ability is availability, and right now, at any moment in time, there's a bunch of players within that top 4 that are injury prone. Shea,
Mhm.
Embiid. If any of them get hurt, that's just enough for
That's the thing. I don't
Kawhi
think
to
Kawhi got
slide
the
in the
MVP.
spot.
Yeah, I don't think Kawhi got the MVP at all.
You know who I think too?
Very much is in it.
If two guys fall off, you know who I think also jumps in there?
Tatum.
LeBron James.
That as well. If you go
LeBron
10 man,
James.
you have a lot of interesting names in there that, like, you have your Tatums, you have your LeBron James,
Mm-hmm.
you Jokic is
winning
in the top 10.
MVP.
Giannis.
LeBron winning
Doncic.
MVP in the year 21 is
Luka's in top
unmatched.
5 for MVP.
Yeah,
Giannis.
Luka's coasting.
Giannis
Definitely-
top
Giannis,
10.
Luka's
Giannis
definitely
also
top
did.
Giannis.
Giannis is
Absolutely.
wrecking the league right now.
Giannis is the dude's a monster, bro.
Listen, Dylan hates him, but he's
That
a monster.
trade saved
64
Giannis.
Fuck Giannis. I'm glad he didn't get his ball. I'm glad the Pacers gave him some random ass ball. Go dip your Oreo in that, bitch.
Hates it. Hates his guts.
Just hates
Oh,
him.
this
Just
Oreo, I
hates
dip
him.
it in the milk in my press conference. I love America. Fuck you, Giannis.
Just hates him. Just hates him. Just hates him.
No,
And his random James Harden beef, which I can't tell if it's just
It's not a
beef or
random
it's-
James Harden
or
beef.
it's
It's
just
a fact thing. I
Is
hate
it
James
real?
Harden for
It's
how
not
he
real.
left. I hate James Harden for how he left Brooklyn because he actually went on the court and just quit. But it's all stuff I knew already.
he's also quit on 3 teams in like 4 years. So
Yeah, it's all stuff I knew already. Where Harden in the playoffs, he'll give you a good series and then he'll give you a couple games.
What are the odds
And
of
then-
Dylan?
Yeah,
not
that was
liking
me.
two
I did
guys
that.
don't-
I did
What are
that.
the odds of Dylan not liking guys that don't like each other?
It's okay if you don't like each other. Just don't go on the court and just refuse to play while you're on the court.
No, I'm saying
Like, you
Giannis
can't
and
do
James
that.
Harden not liking each other.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yes, I love when players hate each other. Beefs are great. So
Yeah.
I would January 1st and January 3rd when the Bucks and Pacers play again. That's must watch TV. If it's not on
Oh yeah.
on ESPN or TNT, I'm gonna be watching that game on League Pass.
They play soon. They play January 1st, right?
Yeah, they're the first and the third. They play
Really,
back to back.
Nasty.
He does it even in real life.
Nasty. Nasty. Oh,
But, like, that's
man.
gonna be
I
must
didn't
watch.
hear it.
Like,
I think it cut out when you were saying it.
yeah, fuck you. Real hate works, man. Real hate sells in the NBA.
Well, that actually we kind of touched on it. Our last topic, are the Suns in trouble? Because they are 14 and 13. They're holding on to the last playing spot. Bradley Beal turned his ankle. It should only be a couple weeks, but the sprained ankle, that's tricky, and it was a bad sprain. So are the Suns
On
in
top
trouble?
of if something flares up with his back again, because that can literally just happen at any time.
Yeah, it's tough. It's real tough. I would say that they make
I'd say
the
yeah.
plan. I want to say they make the plan, but that's a tough one for me. That's
I don't think they win a playoff series.
the thing about it is they're in trouble because they can't afford any more injuries. Like injury help is the problem because they can't participate in like signing guys or participate in guys getting bought out or making trades.
The only way you can make a trade is if you really trade one of these guys.
uh-huh.
And you can't trade Beal. Who's going to trade for an injured guy?
No one will end that contract.
And that contract.
And if this Suns team makes the play-in and they have to play one of these 3 teams that are there right now in Minnesota, Oklahoma City, and Denver.
And
it's
and the thing, Kevin Durant's missed games over the past years. It's going to happen too.
So is Devin Booker too as well.
Devin Booker's already missed like 15 games.
Yeah, I think if Kevin Durant plays like 89%, I think they make the plan because he still has that. He's still having a hell of a year too. That's another guy having a hell of a year.
I don't know.
But
It's availability.
winning a playing series with I mean, if that offers them more time to get Bradley up and running and everything like that, and he becomes who he is, I think they can win that series. But it's tough sledding from here on out. Kevin Durant's going to have to literally carry this team.
It's the defensive
Yeah.
side for me. Defensive side in the playoffs is what's gonna hold me back from taking Phoenix, because they don't have any of these really physical guys who are going to try to like make life difficult on defense.
Okogie.
I don't know how.
Josh.
Oh, Josh Okogie, but
Yeah.
like even still, I don't think that's going to be a big enough of a difference.
What if
That's
they play like how they played against the Nuggets those 2 games?
I
If
don't
they
know,
start
man.
playing like that, you think it's
in a physical game? I'm not taking Phoenix in anything.
Talk to me back at March. It's too early for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I can't. Yeah, March. That's a month.
All-Star.
That's
How
a
about the
month.
All-Star break?
No, because that's the breaking point. I say after March, when the second half of the season starts to get going, you can then see what these teams are after the All-Star weekend break. So that's how I look
I
at
feel
it.
like we're going to have the same questions about Phoenix then.
I think they make the plan. I think they once they're on the court for a decent amount of time.
I think they'll make the
think they'll have
plan.
the
It's
time.
just everything else. I just
Well, my
don't.
thing is, if playing comes and they're all healthy, I mean, I'm taking Phoenix at the end of the day. Like,
There's
the
only I don't
problem
think
is,
there's a team I'm taking over Phoenix
They need to
out
have
of
time
like
together.
7.
They need to have time together. They haven't had time together. That's the problem.
If you go out of the top 10 right now, the only team I'm taking Phoenix over are the Pelicans and the Rockets.
The problem is with Phoenix is like in last year's playoffs, if the stars cancel each other out, the rest of their team, it all comes out who has the
They don't
better.
have the other guys.
They don't have the other guys. Like in the
But-
playoffs, when Joker and Murray and Durant and Booker canceled each other out, the others.
yeah, but then the Suns have Bradley Beal now. A healthy Bradley Beal can ball. Like, let's not
but
forget
we
about
have to,
that.
We have to do a healthy Bradley Beal. But again, Denver had 3 or 4 guys who are also going to contribute. And even if you have your guys cancel each other out, you're not going to have 3 guys all scoring 40 in the same night. The likelihood of that happening is crazy.
That's what's up. I got to see them healthy too. I'm with Anthony because before Bradley Beal came back, that little stretch where they had KD and Book, their bench didn't play bad. Like their bench played well.
Yeah,
So
they played pretty good.
I
Durant
wouldn't.
and Booker goes through the roof.
They do, but like they have guys that can get them 10 points, 10, 15 points.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The
You can
problem
get,
is they don't
guys
play
like
defense.
Allen, Eric Gordon. 13,
That's it right
12,
there,
13.
Mike. They
Problem
don't
is they
play
don't play
defense.
defense. Because
Yeah, there's no
then
defense.
you'll need those guys to get instead of asking them guys to get 10, 15 points, you're gonna ask them to get 15, 20 points. And that's a jump for some of those guys.
Like, I'm not taking the Suns over the Lakers.
If you need them
I
to get a
wouldn't.
shot,
I'm
well,
not taking the Suns over the Mavericks.
You're not taking a healthy Suns over the Lakers?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. A healthy
Absolutely
Lakers
not.
team? No. Mm-mm.
A healthy Lakers team, I'm not touching. The Mavs, I'm not taking the I'm not taking the Suns over the Mavs. I'm not taking the Suns over the
Dangerous.
Kings.
They not beat they might beat the Kings because Harrison Barnes. KD just kills Harrison Barnes every time he sees him.
KD's
so.
gonna kill
He really
whoever's
does.
there. It's just
But
the problem is who's
he
stopping
kills
Fox?
Harrison Barnes. Like,
Who's stopping
Huh?
Fox?
I don't think you
Who's
understand.
stopping Booker?
Kills Harrison Barnes.
The
No,
Kings
no,
play
Dylan,
defense.
he
That's-
kills
no,
Harrison
Mike, I
Barnes.
fucking got you the first time. Like the Kings play defense though. So again, you're gonna have to live with Durant and Booker getting there and Beal getting theirs. The Kings have other guys who will outperform the Suns' other guys.
Fox is
Den-
getting 40. He's
Denver.
getting 40.
Yeah, because
They're
there's
not
nobody. Yeah, Denver. Yeah,
He's
They're
going
not
to
beating
get 40 against the Suns.
Phoenix
not beating
Phoenix
them.
against
Okay,
Denver. I may call
They're
for a
not beating
sweep.
them.
I may
Yeah, they're
call
not
for a
winning the game
sweep in
against
that
Denver.
series.
They're not winning
They're
the game
not
against
beating.
Denver.
They're not beating Denver. Not right now. They got.
I don't think. I also
I
don't
think-
think
I
they beat
think-
Oklahoma City.
I think you guys are vastly underestimating a healthy Phoenix Suns team. I'm sorry.
Again,
You don't know
Yeah,
what
I'm
it looks
giving,
like.
I'm giving
That's
credit
crazy.
to the
You
three
don't know what
guys.
they look like.
It's
What
the
do they
other
look like?
guys I don't
You-
know.
you- I know, but I'm just saying, like, you got 3 dudes who can give you 50 on any night.
But do they
40
do
to
that
50.
together?
They gotta be there.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I get what you're saying. I'm not completely disagreeing with you, but I'm saying like a healthy Phoenix Suns team can be very dangerous.
Yeah,
And to
Yes,
just sit there and be like, oh well, 10
they don't
teams are
play
just going to
defense,
wash
so
them.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
okay, they may not play the greatest
Wow.
defense, but they have the talent to overcome any defensive
The
deficiencies. In my
problem
opinion,
is in the NBA over the last 15 years, any contender that goes into the playoffs that has a chance, that has hopes of trying to win the NBA title, either have to have a top 10 offense and a top 15 defense. Those are the only ways those happen.
a healthy
Every
Suns lineup
team,
can absolutely put up a top 10 offense.
oh, great, but what about the defensive part?
Like I said, I feel like they can make up for that.
You can't. You have to play defense. You have to at least put up a league average defense in order to win in the playoffs. Those teams that put up a top 10 offense and a bad defense get bumped in the first round, like 90% of the time.
That's where I feel like I don't know what this Lakers team is. I feel like at the height of their powers, they actually can win a few series. Actually,
If the Lakers, if they are healthy, have championship aspirations. Like that's a real thing.
They just have guys that can play defense around them. Finally,
exactly. They have defense. They have offense. They're gonna bolster a team
shooters,
that's gonna be top 10 and top 10.
If their shooters hit shots, the Lakers can win the title.
If D'Angelo Russell hits shots,
averages 20 points,
if D'Angelo Russell can hit,
mark my words, if D'Angelo Russell averages 20 or more points throughout
the Lakers will never lose.
The Lakers will never win the championship.
They won't lose a game.
And obviously, AD stays healthy. And AD stays healthy too as well.
If they get D'Lo 20, they don't lose a game.
They're not losing
at
all.
They sweep the playoffs.
Because D'Lo was ass last year in the postseason. If D'Lo performed, what? If he plays somewhat to his potential,
the Nuggets, bro.
I say if he scores 15 consistently, then I'll lose.
Yes.
15.
If you get 15 out of D'Lo, you're going to make a major run. If you get 20 out of D'Lo, you're winning everything. You're not losing a game.
You're playing the parade now.
And then you get production from Gabe Vincent too, and those other guys.
Is Gabe back yet?
No, Gabe is coming back.
He's right. If he didn't play tonight, he'll be playing by the end of this week. He will play on Christmas. I'll tell you that. He'll play on Christmas.
Than Gabe Vincent and me, because if we get an actual defender that we can move him around like it's a chess piece, that goes a very long way. Because
that could save LeBron from having to do that, which you don't want LeBron guarding the best player on the other team.
You can't have, because that was the problem.
At 40 years old. That was the problem. LeBron was guarding the best player at 40. It makes no sense. It makes no sense that LeBron is being asked to do all of this stuff
every game.
But LeBron's not an average human being, though. Dude, so we've already figured
it out. These ridiculous numbers at 40 years old. He's the I've never seen an anomaly before. Like, this is it. He is the anomaly.
I mean, you've seen it already. You've seen it in another sport, though. Like, I hate the man, but Tom Brady,
like 47-year-old kickers and shit. But like,
no, Tom Brady is an anomaly in sports, period.
Like, he is, but it's different.
He is.
We don't know.
He's not LeBron James, but
Tom wasn't moving.
He's not LeBron
but he's
James.
He's still winning. He was still winning Super Bowls at 47 years old.
He still won a Super Bowl at like 40 and 42 years old.
Yeah, so you got to give him that.
Tom Brady don't exist.
Top 5, top 10 in QB efficiency.
Don't stop hating.
Touchdowns.
Tom Brady.
That's what I'm saying.
Tom Brady's a bitch. We don't care about Tom Brady. The real anomaly here is LeBron James doing what he's doing, not sustaining any major injuries at the age of 40 on a very demanding game. So much more impressive than Tom Brady. Fuck Tom Brady.
Wait, LeBron had a major injury, though.
A major injury? When? He had an ACL injury?
No, his groin tore up his entire bone.
Yeah. His season was done.
His season was done.
Yeah, but I don't consider that a major injury in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, when we think of major injuries as being like a torn ACL, a torn Achilles, he hasn't had anything like that. And really, even when he had the torn groin, what other injuries has LeBron had in his career?
The ankle injury, the ligament injury.
Not to like make him miss like 65 games.
That
Yeah,
groin
man.
injury,
remember,
he's
he
out.
for
bro.
10
Groin
straight.
took his season away. I'm trying to think what he got talking
But again,
about.
LeBron's not human, so a groin injury, throw it out the window. Like,
No, but he
Yeah,
lost
and
his season. He didn't. He
Yeah,
didn't
that
play.
was well,
for 10
when did
10
the
straight
groin
years,
got?
he was playing
he
until
played like
June.
40 something games that year, 40 or 50.
Nah,
Yo, wait. Am
That
I
was his
missing
first year with the
something?
Lakers, right?
I thought
he didn't.
I
He
thought
didn't
was
play
out for the
40,
season.
50. He was. Yo, they played.
Man,
They played the
hold on.
Warriors for the first time, and he
Here
was
with
out.
the Lakers, where
That
he
was his
took
first year with the Lakers.
vacation during the All-Star break, came back, they got eliminated from the playoffs, and then he sat out.
Yeah, he played 55 games.
Hmm?
Yeah, he missed the rest of the season after that.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
played 55 games that year.
He missed
And then they blew up the
17,
team.
17 straight games after that.
Playoff contention, and they shut him down,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he wouldn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm. The 2018, 2019 team.
Yep. 55.
Mm-hmm. Right. That was a major injury for him, though. He was out.
For that being a major injury, for him to play the same amount of games that he's been playing, really, is crazy
So
to me.
way
No,
longer than that.
No, but the thing about it is that it's when he got injured. It's not
No, exactly. Exactly.
It's
So
not the
that's what I'm
fact that
saying.
the
He
injury
didn't.
itself wasn't major, though, because if he got injured at the beginning of the year with that injury,
So let me
he's out
rephrase
for
this. He
a ton of
hasn't
games.
had a major injury during the season that has caused him to miss significant time on his career.
Like he's never missed a whole season.
Yeah, he's never missed like
Yeah,
a
no, he's
ton
never
of
missed
time
a whole
outside of
season.
him normally missing games.
And not really have like because Tom Brady has missed the season.
Tom Brady had the ACL.
He had the ACL. Yeah, he had the ACL. And then they changed the rules.
LeBron has been able to
And then
avoid
they changed the rules, and he never was able to do it again.
like that.
So I just want to point out that Basketball Reference has LeBron James in the 2021-2022 season listed as his primary position being a center.
Oh, I remember that. That was fun.
That was when LeBron was going on that run where he was the best
was
center
fun.
in basketball.
That was fun, though. That was fun. That was also terrible to watch him do that because of our teams. But that was fun to see.
Yeah, it was guarding Embiid, and Embiid was scoring nonstop.
Yeah,
So
that
in
was
his
crazy.
career with the Lakers, he has played every position but shooting guard as his primary position. 2018-2019 was small forward. The next year was point guard. The next year was point guard. The next year was center. Then power forward, power forward.
My thing is that it doesn't really matter what position you place because the offense still flows through him. So
The,
it doesn't
the
change his
basketball is
position.
positionless now, so it's like it doesn't make a difference anymore.
The only time it's affected is when it is on defense.
Yep. And LeBron was locking dudes up in center too, which is hilarious. He was top 3 center in basketball.
So far, this is my favorite season of his this year. He's still
he's
hashtag
playing-
32 plus.
We'll see how this season
The
goes.
fact that they were trying to make him play like 28 minutes immediately got thrown out the window because Darby was like, "Yeah, we can't play basketball games like that."
From. Finally, you guys see where I'm coming from.
No,
The
I
fact
knew where you're
that it
coming
was
from
like
immediately. I knew where you're coming from
crazy.
immediately.
Me and Roz was saying it was like they cannot play him less than 30 minutes.
Bro,
And-
like, what are they talking about? Like,
We don't
Minutes
have load
restriction.
management anymore, so we're gonna put him on a 28 minutes a game. Oh my God, we're losing.
We're
Put him back
losing.
in. Put him back in.
What? Like, there's no way. Like, but hey, man, like, once we get guys healthy, I think we're gonna have an interesting rest of the year. But yeah, shout out to the Knicks, man. Shout out to the Knicks. The Knicks are a great team. I don't know. I feel like they're still on the cusp. They need one more guy, but we'll see.
That sarcastic smile means nothing to me.
No,
Make
I'm
sure
being
you-
serious. They need one more guy. They need one more
Hit
guy.
that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that notification button. Follow us whenever we drop an episode. You'll know when we go live, like we will next week. You'll know. As I stated, next week is the 2024 Speaky Awards. We will be live. I don't know who's showing up, to be honest with you. No one has been confirmed as guests, but there's a whole list of people that might be guests. So stay tuned to see who shows up. We will announce our Speaky winners both in the show and around the sports and music world.
Question. The
Yes.
Speaking Awards
and video game world.
What's the realm? Like, what's the
It will
like
be sports.
no, like what is considered qualifiers? The term period. Is it last year? This year?
Calendar year. That's why you couldn't win the Speaky for the Magic last year.
What was it for the
No,
Magic?
we couldn't officially give him 40 wins because he didn't
Yeah,
win
we
it.
could
It
because
didn't happen.
it,
So
it
but he
didn't
can win.
happen.
He get
See,
40
He can
wins
get
this
it.
year.
He can get 40 wins this year.
He get 40 wins this year.
Calendar year. Calendar year, James. What's the problem with that?
That's where the bullshit lies because
What?
the Speakeasy is really for football. If we want to just be honest here, that's what it really is.
No, you're good. You can win 40 wins right now this year, James. Because at the time, 40 wins didn't come true yet.
Yeah, Mike is trying to take the steam off of my quality.
You can win 40 wins and the Nuggets win the title.
Exactly. How is it a football award when last year's athlete of the year was Aaron Judge? Last year's team of the year was the Golden State Warriors. Last year's moment of the year was Aaron Judge breaking the record. How is this football? You got to get your bias out.
Those are no-brainers, though. That's why. Those are no-brainers. Aaron Judge breaking the home. Come on now. There was nothing surpassing that.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Listen, if this is your campaign speech, then by all means. But the fact remains, it's for the calendar year, all of 2023.
So January.
All your football fans, man.
Yes. Like I said, all the awards panel has been notified. We'll see if and when they submit their ballots.
If and when.
Because if they don't, it's going to be a fun night next week.
Gary hours.
It's going to be. If you guys only knew what I knew, it's going to be a fun show next week if no one submits their ballot.
And it will be scary hours. It will definitely be scary hours.
What do you mean, Dylan? What do you mean? What did Dylan put?
I'm not.
I already know Dylan put some bullshit.
We only got
I'm not revealing anything.
What do you mean Dylan put some bullshit? What do you think I put?
I don't
Probably
know.
put some bullshit.
So Anthony's just mad because I do my best when we do brackets to eliminate all his favorite things to things they shouldn't lose to.
Yeah, Dylan's all about chaos. That's why he's saying that, Anthony, and I agree with him.
Don't worry, there's another agent of chaos here too. I'll give you a hint. We may have the same last name.
So stay tuned. Next week we will be live for the Speakies. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Twitch, iHeartRadio, everywhere, YouTube, Twitch, everywhere you get it, we will be there for you. I'm him. How we close every show. Who is I'm him for the week? Does anyone want to go first?
I will go.
Ooh.
Mr. I'm him. It's Mr. Ja Wick himself, Ja Morant.
Ja Wick.
The Baba Yaga. So like, yeah, man, what better way to come back, let everybody know, not forget who you are. Shout outs to Ja Morant. Just coming back and lighting the league on fire and letting everybody know, he's him. It's Ja Morant.
Steven, got an I'm him for the week?
Yeah. Drew Lock. He put
Yes, sir.
City with that 92-yard drive to beat Philly. Drew Lock, 92 yards, all on James Bradbury. Plus that freaking interview at the end of the game. The Seattle Seahawks quarterbacks with their post-game interviews, they knock it out of the park. I'm him, Drew Lock, put on for the city.
Yeah.
Or bias there. All right, James. You have an I'm him, sir?
Steph Curry.
Mm.
I'm gonna give it to Steph Curry. You know, trying to he silenced all the naysayers about saying that what is it, that the Celtics were gonna beat them this time around because they're old and stuff like that. But he just shows up every single time. Steph Curry. Night night.
Anthony.
I don't have an I'm him, but I do have an I'm her. I got two of them actually. It is Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for being the co-winners of the Sporting News Athletes of the Year. So I want to shout both of them out because they were indeed box office and put on stellar performances.
What was your favorite part of those games, Anthony?
Uh-oh.
What?
I'm him, Leon Edwards, packing up Colby Covington. That piece getting the fuck out of here, motherfucker. Nobody cares you support Trump. You're a piece of shit because of other things, not because you support Trump. Go on Fox News and cry, you fucking loser.
He should have took his wig and ran around the ring with it afterwards. Like, you know.
I didn't lose the Marty fake newsman.
My I'm him is also Leon Edwards.
Damn it, we were going with different people.
Nah.
Dude, Mike said we ran out of people. It's
Leon Edwards because fuck Colby Covington. That's why it's Leon Edwards. Shut him up. The I can't even put it into words. I was getting angry for Leon Edwards listening to his post-fight talk about containing his emotions when Colby made fun of his father getting murdered in the promotion of this fight. I wanted to punch him in the face for you, Leon. So the fact that you went out there and dominated that scrub made all of our hearts happy. But Mike, I don't care. No political. We don't care. He's just a despicable human being and deserves to get his ass whooped. So Leon Edwards, the
revolution is over.
Leon Edwards is I'm him. Well, the fight got stolen because he's a Trump fan, but
he's a Trump supporter. The judges don't care. Meanwhile, Dana White, massive Trump guy. The whole company, massive
walks Trump out with music playing. Right. Like, you know, but they're all against Trump. They're all against Trump.
Colby's just a fucking idiot.
Take the L.
We don't hate you because you support Trump, Colby. We hate you because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
1000% what it is.
He's a piece of shit. He's a fake piece of shit. All he does. He's not even like that. You take the cameras off and he's just some dork. That's all he is. Fuck Colby Covington. Used to be a good fighter.
That day's passed. That day might have passed too because he looked bad in that fight against Leon. But that's for Soy Fight Club. That's for another night. We thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. Join us next week for our end of the year wrap-up show, the Speaky Awards, where James will no doubt run up on stage and not let somebody finish and say he had the best the best prediction of the year.
40 wins is the greatest of all time.
I got my microphone.
So join us live.
You better not say anything about no Taylor Swift, Anthony, or I'm shutting it down.
40 wins is the greatest of all time.
We'll be live on YouTube, live, I think, on Dylan's Twitch. Maybe my Facebook Live. Not sure yet. I am shadow banned. So we'll see. We'll be live on YouTube. So join us. We thank you for watching and have a great
Merry
night.
Christmas, y'all. Enjoy your families.
Raiders Chiefs Christmas Day, baby.
Nobody
Y'all
cares
got
about the Raiders.